coach for next season?
They have a terrific effort, and Bailey Henderson has been coaching the under-18s this year. He's their current captain as well. Great midfielder and inside 50 player, VFL experience. He coached, was part of the Storm's premiership win in 2019, the Bendigo Footy League, and coached the 18s to the finals for the first time since 2010 last year at Castlemaine. Good news there for Castlemaine, however. I do think Golden Square at home will be too strong today. Golden Square, a bit like Kangaroo Flat, struggling though with goal kicking. Both those sides kicked only 5 goals last weekend in the Bendigo Football League. So that'll be the challenge for the Dogs today. Can they get enough goals at home? But I do think they will get across the line.
And of course, our match for broadcast here this afternoon is South Bendigo and Golden Square. The Bloods are out onto the ground here at Harry Trott Oval. And, South Bendigo and Gisborne, I should say. And Gisborne are warming up here at our end of the ground. Plenty of long sleeves out there. Elijah Bretherton's got the long sleeves on. Ryan Burke's got it on. Harry Luxmore as well. There's plenty of them around there for Gisborne, who are very accustomed to playing in these kind of conditions, as there will be for South Bendigo as well. When you size these two teams up, Norm, both in terms of personnel and game style, where do you think today is won and lost between the Bloods and the Dogs?
Well, I just think that Gisborne, overall, they've got a little bit more experience, and they seem to team together very well. They've got a good midfield, and if they can get the ball forward, you've got Luxmore down there that's been a good foil this year for Pat McKenna. And I think that the sticking point will be, can South Bendigo kick enough goals? For me, in recent weeks, they haven't been able to. This week, no real talls up forward. They've got like for likes with Harvey, Strubens and also Antonowitz, and I think that'll be easier for Gisborne to counteract than what it will be for South Bendigo to counteract Gisborne's forward line.
Jacko, how do you see it shaking out?
It's going to be a cracking contest. I think South Bendigo at home will be too strong. Callum Crisp in the ruck is the key for me from a Gisborne perspective. If they can stop his influence in the ruck, that eliminates the Bloods' opportunity to get first use of the ball from the middle. And as we know, up forward, they've got a variety of options, star-studded options, it must be said. Brock Harvey, Stephen Strubens, and also Caden Antonowicz. Various others can float forward and kick goals too, the likes of Anthony Zimmerman and Brody Hatter, but I think Callum Crisp is the key. 50-plus hit-outs in the past 4 games. For me, I think South Bendigo will win by 3 goals.
Yeah, if he's going up against the Nolder medalist, the Mickelson medalist in Braden Blake, the tests don't come much tougher than that in terms of rucks in Bendigo footy. So a big job for Cal Crisp today, and that'll be one of the fascinating matchups that we get to see, normally, to see how this Gisborne defence lines up against South Bendigo. Who goes to Pat McKenna? Does Joel Swarton go to Brad Bernacki? I mean, with the effectiveness of that tag back in round 2, surely that would be the one matchup that Jack Fallon and Troy Coates could have locked in on the magnet board, that we're going to put Swatto back on Bernacki when we come back here to Harry Trott Oval.
Yes, you would think that that would be a must, but as you say, the other matchups, who takes Brock Harvey in defence for Gisborne, or does he play more on ball today than what he's been doing? And it'll be interesting to see who gets Strubens, who gets Antonowitz. I mean, I have laid my cards on the line as to who gets what, that Burke will get Strubens and Vescovi will get Antonowitz. So we'll have to wait and see on that. And I think that South may pull a bit of a surprise and put Tommy Broughton on Pat McKenna.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see where they go in terms of matchups between these two teams this afternoon. As we've spoken about in round 2 when they met, it was a 27-point win to South Bendigo. And the stats that day, they were minus 17 clearances, South Bendigo, on that day. They lost the contested possession. They took 18 more contested marks. They took 16 more contested marks around the ground. They had 10 fewer inside 50s, but they controlled the ball. And as we heard earlier from Jack, some of their best ball movements so far this year, or from Matt Cameron, I should say, some of their best ball movements so far this year, which has let them down when we've seen them in other games, was against Gisborne. So can they bring that style and that pressure and that kind of energy to today's game, that's going to be the real key. And I reckon we'll get a pretty good sense of it, Normie, in the first couple of minutes.
Yeah, we'll get it early on. And I think the other thing that South Bendigo have got to do also is they've got to keep the ball low into their forward line, because you've got big Jed Dennehy down in the back line, and he's a very hard man to get past his height. I don't think South Bendigo have got anybody in their lineup that could go one-on-one with the big Jed. So it'll be interesting. For me, I still think Gisborne, they're improving week in and week out, and their win at the QEO a few weeks ago against Sandhurst was, I think that was a statement for them for the season, and I've been on their bandwagon since the start of the year, and I think today we'll see why they are, along with Sandhurst, the two flag favourites for 2025.
Young Lucas Hannon's going to start on a wing. Looks like Brock Harvey's going to wander over to start next to him on the George Street side. And, of course, Brad Benacki and Braden Blake, the two of the joint Mickelson medalists. You've got Jesse Collins in the centre, Joel Swatton, Brodie Haddo, Cal Crisp. It is a star-studded midfield brigade for both of these two teams today. And it is a big test for South Bendigo here on their home ground. It looks like maybe Josh Nitschke's got the job on Pat McKenna. And he brings plenty of experience to that duel this afternoon. South Bendigo and Gisborne, the Bloods trying to take a big scalp. The Dogs trying to bank another win. Here's Jackson Saunders.
It was Blake that tapped it down in the ruck contest, but straight away it's Jesse Collins who helps to work it to half forward. Not for long though. Turnover. And the Bulldogs from half-back work it towards centre wing. The intended target, Harry Luxmore. Ball stolen from him by Brock Harvey. He gets it back. He combined with Crisp. Harvey long and deep. It's about 30 metres out from goal, but a terrific defensive grab has been taken by Harry Luxmore for the Bulldogs.
So the Dogs will come outside the defensive 50. It's a low kick out toward Miletus. Fist on it for South Bendigo from Brereton. Scooped up by Miller. High kick inside the forward 50. Controlled well by Davies in the left forward pocket. Goes back into battle against Zach Dennehy. Clever hands from Blake. They can extricate through the big man. Outside the defensive 50 for the Gisborne Bulldogs. Kick down the line. Bit of holding on between Fallon and Dennehy. No free kick. Fallon scoops it up for the Bloods. Centre wing, clubroom side. Handball to Jesse Collins. Back into the mess. Good pressure early from both. Joel Swatton lays on top of the pack. And the umpires say, give it to me. Andrew Snell, Will Robertson officiating this afternoon. Ball up centre wing, clubroom side. No scorers yet.
Chris whacked that down. It was Swatton who got first hands to it. It was knocked away from him though. The Bulldogs a quick boot to ball toward half forward. Pack develops. Underneath it was Matthew Merritt. Ball fisted down. It spills loose out towards the pocket. They'll have a flying shot at this towards McKenna. It's across the face though. And the kick from Harry Luxmore just the behind. He's kicked 11 this season. Fresh, live, 25 local footy.
Fallon on kick-in duties. Any matchups caught your eye, Normie, to start?
Not at this stage. Just interesting to see South Bendigo are using Nitschke on Pat McKenna.
Here's Crisp, who took a good contested mark against Blake. Kicks down the line. Bretherton tried to get a hand to it. It just floated over the top of his head, and it'll be thrown back in on the George Street side here at Harry Trott Oval. Very wintry day in Bendigo. Temperature's going to struggle to get out of single figures. We've had fog all morning. The sun has really not threatened to break through at any stage. So it is very, very much winter's football this afternoon. Ball tossed back in. Attacking half for the Bloods. Ripping it out of there, doing really well was Jacob Murphy for the Dogs. Kick into the centre of the ground, finds Luxmore. Kicks inside the 50. A beautifully weighted ball for McKenna, who's called to play on. Nitschke got a hand on her on the way through. Inside forward 50 for the Dogs. Brereton comes across, tackled by Miletus. And it'll be thrown back in. It was a close run thing. Pat McKenna looked like he was going to play on. There was a hand on it. Umpire said play on. And we'll have a throw in inside forward 50 for the Dogs.
You touched on the cold conditions. It's only 7 degrees at Calible, round 11 in the Loddon Valley Football League game today against Midiamo here at Harry Trott. Ball spinning back into play. Crisp knocks it down. It's rowed by Josh Nitschke, who gets it up towards the centre square. Blake, though, creates a contest. Ball comes to ground level by hand. It came from Jed Dennehy. Kick inside 50. Pack develops. Zach Dennehy had it fist away from him. Ball spills to Thomas Brereton. He gets the clearance over the top to Haddo. Haddo works it to half back. They do well. Next link in the chain is Hayden Geddes. His hand pass goes to Crisp. His gang tackled. It's terrific pressure from the Gisborne forwards. They've locked it inside 50. Now a shot at goal, 25 metres out on the run. It came from the debutant of last week, James Gray. In fact, James Gray has played a bit longer than he wasn't on debut last week, but he missed an opportunity there.
Yeah, 2 behinds the Dogs. The Bloods yet to score. We've played 4 minutes in the opening term. Live 25 local fresh footy. Long kick into the centre of the ground, taken by Zimmerman at ground level for the Bloods. In fact, Davies hands it off to Swatton. Kick to right half forward. Finds Strubens. He just knocks it into the pocket. A little bit too much on it that time for Antonovich. Werner reaches over the top and bashes it away. Collects his own crumb and kicks across the defensive 50, finds the run of Johnstone, left foot kick outside the back arc. It skittled through Callum Crisp. It was picked up there by Murphy. He got collared and caught holding the ball. Good tackle in the end there from Davies, who kicks an absolute mung back inside the forward 50. Bounce past for Scobie. Dennehy there. He's kicked it out of bounds on the full, so the foot skill's not at their absolute best at the moment. And the Bloods will get a chance to reload inside forward 50 through Isaiah Miller from left half forward.
It's Miller, as he touched on Joel. He goes to the tip of the goal square, and a good presentation and a good mark has been taken. 20 metres out from South Bendigo's goal, directly in front, and a chance for the first goal of the afternoon through Josh Nitsky. In fact, Stephen Strubens, I should say. 12 goals for the season. So he's got the long sleeves on, and South Bendigo have not scored yet today. So Stephen Strubens, still foggy conditions here at Harry Trott Oval in Kennington. He'll kick from about 30 metres out. It started left and goes further left, and just a behind. Score sponsor Don Smallgoods is good. It's a 1-point lead to Gisborne early in this opening term.
Yeah, the pleasing thing for South Bendigo in this first quarter has been their pressure. They've matched it with Gisborne through the early stages.
Needs to do better with the finish there, Stephen Strubens, and both teams have let themselves down in that department early stages. Kick outside the defensive 50. Miller chased it toward the boundary line, can't keep it in. It'll be tossed back into play. 5:25 local fresh footy, South Bendigo, Gisborne. Our broadcast game, Joel Peterson, Norm Jenkin, Jackson Saunders with you. Great to have your company, whether you're listening locally on 101.5 FM or wherever you are right around the world online. Haddo from the contest has it taken away from him. Young's handball out wide for the Dogs. Releases the run of James Gray. Kicks inside the 50. Terrific defensive spoil from Nitschke, who reaches across the shoulder of Pat McKenna and thumps it out of play. And it'll be tossed back in. Dogs in attack, right half forward. They lead by a point. We've played 6.5 in the first term.
Nitschke's been good defensively in the opening 7 minutes of this clash. Ball thrown back in. Front position is Callum Crisp. He palms it down, looking for Harvey. Couldn't get him though. Went to the bottom of the deck. The Bulldogs get boot to ball. Long towards the tip of the goal square. Luxmore underneath it. McKenna lurks. Nitschke helps to defend. They've worked it out for hand pass rush behind though. Gisborne, they did work it out, but great defensive work in the last line there by the Bloods. Gisborne 3 behind, South Bendigo 1. Score sponsor, Jason Westcott Builder.
Co-coach Jack Fallon directing some traffic. Stands at the top of the defensive goal square and now slowly wanders in before he lays his left boot into it. As far and as hard as he can. Blake and Crisp in the wrestle. Free kick will go the way of the joint Mickelson medalist from last season. And Nolder medalist from 2022, Braden Blake. Drops the Dogs back inside the forward 50. McKenna the target. He had Brereton worked under the football that time. Couldn't take the mark. He collects the handball at ground level. Swivels, snaps and misfires. Away to the right for Pat McKenna. Minor score. Dogs 4 behind. South 1 behind. We have played 8 minutes in the opening term. Score sponsor, Jason Westcott Builder, Live 25, local fresh footy.
Yeah, South Bendigo's pressure's been up right around the ground, and it's causing Gisborne a lot of troubles when they get forward.
Missed opportunities for both sides early in this contest. Jack Fallon, he'll go to half back, and looking for it is Nitschke, and he receives now across half back. And
interesting to see how deliberate they are with the kick-ins, South Bendigo.
It will be, very much so, as this game unfolds. It's a smaller ground too here at Harry Trott, so that's another dynamic which South Bendigo are more accustomed to as they work it into the centre of the ground. And the mark has been taken by Jack Fallon, who's worked himself up the ground and now kicks to half forward. Pack develops, ball hits the deck, and some superb tackling by Gisborne across half back means we'll have a ball up.
Great tackle from Brad Benaki. Dogs by 3 points. We played 8.5 in the opening term. Live 25 local fresh footy. Blake inside the defensive 50, taps it down toward the boundary line. Swatton rips it away. He shows them a clean pair of heels. His kick got flared across the face of goal though. Strubens will chase it down in the right forward pocket. 40 from home. Squares the kick up. Dangerous spot. Getting back there to support was Burke for the Dogs. The opposite number 2, Harvey's over the top of it. Free kick's been picked out. And it's going the way of Gisborne. My man Ryan Burke's got the footy in the back pocket for the Bulldogs. They trail by 3 points. We played 10 in the opening term.
Burke kicked it to half back. Gisborne had numbers against them, and South Bendigo, just through wall of numbers, are able to lock it across that zone. Alex Davis, the former Calibre United Demon, helps to get it over the top to Zach Hare, the skipper, who is gang tackled and will need to have a ball up. Centre wing position out of side here at Harry Trott. Scoreboard side, it's Gisborne by 3 points. 4 plays 1. We've gone 10 minutes in this opening term. Chris took it out of the ruck contest, banged it on the boot, searching for James Davies. He follows up again at ground level as Davies. Has support from Zach Sims. Inside, Rusbridge. He wants it. Ball eludes him, goes to ground. Players dive on top of it from every direction, and we'll have a ball up. Live 25, local fresh footy. Here's Joel Peterson.
Just inside attacking 50 for the Bloods. We'll have it tossed off. Davies behind the contest. Murphy gets tackled, living dangerously, caught holding the ball. He burst through the contest, did Jacob Murphy, got pulled down. And the co-coach in Jack Fallon. In fact, it is not, it is Rusbridge who's come away with the free kick. So the ex-Bridgewater man will have a free kick and a shot at goal. Pretty tight angle right forward pocket. Kick of no more than 40 metres. He's a couple in from the boundary. He's only kicked the 1 goal so far this season. Won't add to his tally with that one. It's floated across the face, and in the end, I reckon that's been touched on the way through, so it wasn't out of bounds on the full. Dennehy got a hand to it, so it's going to be a throw in, and that's a great result for South Bendigo.
You stole my words, Joel. Couldn't agree more. Ball's gone back in the ruck contest. Neither ruckman got hands to it. Gisborne get the clearance up towards the centre of the ground, but Alex Davis has read the play like a book and intercepts inside the centre circle by hand to Thomas Brereton, who lays it off to half forward. Defensively, Jed Dennehy got in the way, got the spoil, then got the hand pass out. He follows up to Dennehy. His kick was smothered though. Ball ricochets to half back, and they work it out. Blake, he helps to get it up toward half forward. Opportunity beckons for Bradley Benaki, is close to the boundary line. Feeds the hand pass inside. Has a player running loose in Matthew Merritt. He snaps around his body, but another behind. Still no goal for either side. This is extraordinary. 5 behinds Gisborne. South Bendigo 1 behind. Score sponsor, Bendigo City Framers. Live local fresh footy. We've played 12 minutes and still no goal.
Yes, the pressure from both sides has been very good on opposition forwards and made it very difficult. Neither side have made it easy on their forwards, though, the way they've gone into their forward 50.
So here's the watch on South. Every time they've taken a mark so far, and from the kick-ins, they've been really slow and deliberate. I'm fascinated to see how this unfolds throughout the course of the day, if they can maintain possession and the pace that they play at. Fallon this time waits an eternity, drives it into a pack, and it is locked up. So maybe being a little bit more careful, almost that Fremantle style, that we can move it quickly, but we're pretty much going to go back behind the mark with every kick. That's been the method in the early going. At the stoppage, here's Fallon, who's the architect of so much of it. Whacks a long left foot kick inside the 50. Harvey back with the flight. Was he infringed upon? He was. He only had eyes for the footy. The umpire judged that Ryan Burke did not. And Brock Harvey has been given the free kick 35 metres out. He's on a negligible angle to the right of centre. And he is looking for the first of the game, his 21st of the season.
Yes, and that was a fair enough free kick because Harvey was in prime position. Burke was coming back on the man and he did make contact.
So Brock Harvey kicked 7 against Kangaroo Flat a couple of weeks ago, just the 1 last week. Was part of that interleague squad last season for the BFNL. Kick is very nice indeed. A little bit of left to right about that from Harvey, and he finally gets the first of the game after 14 minutes. We had a goal's worth of points, and Brock Harvey's changed all that. 1-1-7 the Bloods. Gisborne are 5 behinds. That's on Live 25 local fresh footy. Score sponsor, Bendigo City Framers.
Yes, it was interesting to note there that twice in that passage of play, Jack Fallon got the football. Twice he was precise in where he wanted to kick it, and South made the most of it in the end.
In the middle, Chris got up high and tapped it down. Couldn't get the 21's advantage, and we'll have a secondary ball up. Live 25 local fresh footy. 1-1-7 the Bloods. They lead by 2 behinds against Gisborne. 5 points. It's amazing. South Bendigo take their first real opportunity and they lead, even though Gisborne has had most of the play, you could argue. They're working it forward again. Matthew Merritt feeds the hand pass. Jacob Murphy wide. They'll send it towards the pocket. McKenna, the intended target. Terrific defensive spoil from Josh Nitsky there, Norm. He just did it so beautifully.
Yes, we heard it from Fallon at the start that he's been a great acquisition for the club, and he's proving it today.
So ball to be tossed back in right in front of us here on Live 25 local fresh footy. Crisp takes front spot in ruck. Miller inside the defensive 50. He gets driven into the turf in a terrific tackle from Dylan Johnstone. Tossed aloft by Andrew Snell.
In the ruck contest, Crisp took it out. High, hospital kick, hangs a long time in the air, ground level, picked up by Zarappa, tip of the goal square, Davis underneath it. Players of both sides showed courage. It's collected by Hare, a metre away from the defensive goal line. Anthony Zimmerman hugs the boundary line with the kick. He was hoping to spot up Zach Sims, but to no avail, and ball went out of bounds. 7 plays 5. We've gone 16 minutes in this opening term. Live 25, local fresh footy.
Yes, there's been plenty of good signs for South Bendigo so far. They've been composed when they're in defence. They haven't been rushed.
Joel Swatton in front of us, not giving Brad Benacki a lot of space to operate in. Meanwhile, the Bloods midfielders was Haddo to Brooks, who towed the chalk along the line to Smith. Smith kicks an absolute wobbler up toward half forward. Bretherton ran straight past it. It was picked up down low by Strubens. He was immediately tackled. And it'll be tossed up between the wing and half forward as the 2 rucks lope across. Cal Crisp and big Zach Dennehy come across to do the ruck work. Haddo again with another clearance for the Bloods. This time he dribbles one inside the forward 50 only just, and it'll be tossed in 40 metres around from the Bloods goal. Right forward pocket. They lead by 2. We've played 17 minutes in the opening term. Live 25 local fresh footy. Joel Peterson and Norm Jenkin with you. The next voice you're about to hear is that of Jackson Saunders.
I reckon the fog's starting to lift too, belatedly.
That's hugely optimistic, Jacko.
As Rusbridge, very close to the boundary line, gets the hand pass to no one in particular, though, and out of bounds once more. So we'll need another boundary throw in.
Alex Davis told me, he guaranteed me earlier that it'd be sunny by 2 o'clock.
He did, didn't he? Yes.
He unequivocally guaranteed that, Normie.
He did. I agree with you there, Joel.
I was lucky he didn't have money on it because he would have done his dough, that's for sure. It's deep for South Bendigo, but Gisborne are going to work it out of the defensive zone. Thomas Werner, he attacks it, he works it half back, but they've had a fumble. Stephen Struben sends it long and deep back inside 50. Player loose for South Bendigo. Mark taken, and it's 40 metres away from their goal mouth and in the arms of Alexander Smith, who would love to get the Bloods second, Norm, in just a matter of minutes, really.
Yeah, look, South Bendigo's attack on the football's been excellent in this first opening stage of the game, and they need to kick this, though, to keep the pressure on the Gisborne Bulldogs.
Alexander Smith off the right boot has missed to the right-hand side and just to behind. So it's 1-8 South Bendigo, Gisborne 5 behinds. In other games, it's Castlemaine leading Golden Square by 10 points, Eagle Hawk by 16 over Kangaroo Flat, and Sandhurst against Strathfield Say by 20 points. The Storm yet to score.
Playing out very similar to round 2 this opening term. On that day, it was the Bloods who led by 23 at quarter time. Gisborne goalless in the opening term in their first match-up this season. I'll be hoping they don't end up the same this afternoon. They've kicked it to the wing, and now Johnston tumbles a kick inside the forward 50. Merritt, McKenna, both there. High tackle on Clough. No. Umpire waves it on. Johns had to play it inside defensive 50 for the Dogs. And then South are able to scramble it out of there. Brooks bashes it into the centre of the ground. It sits up for Evans. He tossed it away under the pressure. Now Fallon played for the free kick. Didn't get it. May have been one for in the back there. No, holding the ball. So free kick against Evans. A wobbly kick inside forward 50 from Davies. Strubens is up to meet it. He started really well. McCaig, handball to Hare for the Bloods. Curling kick inside the forward 50. Fallon disposes of Bretherton. And Manders walks it across inside the defensive 50. So it'll be tossed in. Bloods into attack and doing all the attacking really in the last 10 minutes or so. They lead by 3 points. We've played 19 and a half in this opening term.
They'd be happy, Jack Fallon and Troy Coates, that they lead at this point in the game. Blake in the ruck contest. He's playing his 6th game of the season today. Feeds a hand pass to space in the direction of James Gray. He works it to the boundary line. Feeds the hand pass over the top. Boundary line is awfully close. It could get any closer eventually. The umpire blows his whistle. And some animated interactions between players of both sides. Free kick has been picked out
like
to Gisborne.
Scrum feed in a union game, Normie.
It did look a lot like it, didn't it? There was a rag doll there too, and he's got the free kick.
So it's a cross half back for Gisborne. They'll work it to half forward. Zach Dennehy had it stolen from him, and a terrific defensive grab has been taken by Jesse Collins.
Yeah, he just ran into a wall there, did Dennehy. Jesse Collins is standing in place, and then a kick up the line. Gray thrashes it out over the top of Zach Hare, so it'll be tossed back in front of the South Bendigo bench. It was a contrast. I was in the canteen line, Normie, and I waited for my hot chips, and Alex Davis comes up and he had a banana pre-game. He went and bought a banana in the canteen line. Jesse Collins was tucking into a dim sim and he was waiting on some hot chips. So he said, it doesn't matter what I eat as long as I got food in the belly, and it's working for him in the early stages and for the Bloods. They lead by 3. Clearing kick from the stoppage. Benaki tumbles it forward. Good tackle from Geddes to hold things up across half-back for the Bloods. And that pressure, that defensive intensity has been good since the early stages of this term. They lead by 3 points South, 21 gone. First term, Live 25 local fresh footy.
Well, my father would agree with you, Joel. A Mickelson medalist, he'd have a meat pie and Mars bar before each game. He loved it.
Yeah, the latter I can understand. I'm not so sure about the meat pie, though.
Free kick has been picked out, perhaps even a hot dog occasionally. I'll have to report back in future weeks. If my dad Damien's listening, he might even confirm.
Quite literally the recipe for success then, Jacko.
As Callum Crisp takes the free kick from that ruck contest, in that last contest, he kicks it to half forward. He's looking for Brock Harvey. He's kicked the only goal in this contest so far. Ball's knocked away from him. It's bouncing around like a pinball at the moment. Spills out to Isaiah Miller. He helps to get it further forward, but again, a stoppage is the result. And we'll have a ball up, and I can just sense, Joel, the intensity of this contest is lifting.
Yeah, it's chippy. It is chippy out there. Both sides are throwing their weight around in the early going. McCaig in front of the South Bendigo bench. He handballed it straight into Burke for the Dogs. It's out. It'll be a throw in. It's still in the Bloods attacking half, though. They've really dominated territory in the last 10-15 minutes, Norm.
Well, they have, Joel, and I think that Robbie Waters would be happy that there's only under a goal between them, but I think he'd be getting a little bit worried about the avenues towards goal for Gisborne.
Blake and Crisp in ruck. Blake takes it out decisively. Handball to Clough, handball to Bretherton across half-back. High kick into the middle of the ground. Young Lucas Hannon almost had to try and hurdle his opponent in Brooks there. It's back in South Bendigo hands. Nitschke taken away by Blake. High tackle. That one just slipped up from Nitschke on Murphy. He'll kick from the centre of the ground for the Dogs.
He does indeed. Wants McKenna and finds him elegantly as he went back with a fly to the ball and plucked the catch so effortlessly. He has it 20, well, probably 40 metres out, in fact, on a 45-degree angle. And we'll see if Pat McKenna can kick his first of the afternoon. He nailed 4 last week against Kangaroo Flat. He has 24 for the season. Pat McKenna to the broadcast end of Harry Trott Oval. It's hit the woodwork and just a behind. So they've kicked a goal, but all in.
Yep, they're going to have a goal either way, Jacko.
6 points, the Dogs. South Bendigo 128. Score sponsor, Bendigo City Framers.
This time it's Brereton who's, again, they take an age on this kick-in. They wait for it all to unfold. And Brereton almost kicks it out of bounds on the 4 in the end. He found Isaiah Miller, who walked it across the line. So maybe that one didn't unfold exactly as they hoped, Normie.
No, but, it's still good work by South Bendigo to try and get somebody on their own. Isolate one player and kick the ball to him.
And when you've identified that ball usage has been a problem, this is a good way to go about it. It's been interesting to watch, and they've had plenty of opportunities with the 6 Gisborne behinds. The Bloods lead by 2 points. They've worked it nicely at the stoppage. Collins to Brereton, kicks down the line for the red and white, past Zimmerman. Good tackle from Will McCaig, who locks things up. He's been industrious in the early going, and we will have a ball up. Centre wing, clubroom side here at Harry Trott Oval. It's the Bloods by 2 points. We've played 24 and a half opening term.
And it's knocked down. It's rowed by Zach Sims, who works along the boundary line and over, in fact, another boundary throw-in is the result. So most players around this contest at the moment is a small ground, Harry Trott, compared to, say, the Queen Elizabeth Oval or other more spacious grounds in the Bendigo Football League. Balls thrown back in. No one got hands to it in the ruck contest. Head over the footy was James Gray for the Bulldogs. He was tackled, and a free kick, in fact, has been picked out to South Bendigo. It's Collins who now receives, sends it deep, and a mark has been taken by Strubens 25 metres out from goal, directly in front, and South Bendigo for a chance to get their second, close to quarter time. He's kicked 12 for the season, Norman, a reliable player, Stephen Strubens.
Yes, in the right place at the right time there. The ball drifted over the pack, and he was standing alone, was able to take an easy mark.
Well, this would be very worrying for Gisborne if they were to be goalless at the first change. It's a possibility. Strubens has his second, and the Bloods advance to 2-2-14. Gisborne 6 behinds. That's thanks to our score sponsor, Parsons Towing's Live 25 local fresh footy.
Yes, it's a credit to South Bendigo so far. We heard from Jack Fallon what the game plan was going to be, that they were going to look to move the ball, but move it with precision, and they've been doing that well, and everybody's playing their part in the contest so far. For Gisborne, Robbie Waters, I think, would be a little bit worried that if you can cut McKenna out, you don't give them many other avenues to go.
Well, the supply's been pretty ordinary from the Dogs in the early going. They might get a chance here. Clough takes it off hands of Blake, dumps it inside the forward 50. Luxmore comes across the top of McKenna, but Alex Davis thumps it out of play.
Quarter time
back in.
Scored Joel in the Heathcote District Footy League. It's Strosh Reserve. It's Huntley 1-7, leading LBU 1-3. So a 4-point lead to the Hawks.
All Eagle Hawk out of Canterbury Park. Castlemaine by 11 over Golden Square, and Sandhurst at 27. Strathfield say yet to score. Other games in Bendigo footy. Strong tackle there from Zach Denny to lock things up inside forward 50 for the Dogs, who haven't kicked a goal. Well, in a major sense, they've kicked a goal worth of behind so far, and they trail by 9 points. Murphy, in fact, 8 points the margin. And now a chance. Gray had his kick smothered. Zimmerman dashes across to it, sockers it off the ground, out to space on the George Street side, in front of Harvey, who backtracks against Blake, just got away from him, threw the handball over his head, then Hannon threw it over his head. The second was out of bounds, and it'll be tossed back into play. So it's 2-2, playing 6 behinds. Remember, in the corresponding game in round 2, Gisborne were goalless in that opening term as well. South went on to win by 27. They'll be hoping to turn that around today, Jacko.
Very much so. Isaiah Miller with his smother a moment ago, superb too, helped to get the Bloods with this opportunity on centre wing. From the boundary throw, and Anthony Zimmerman gets there first, but he's tackled from behind, and another ball up. So we're approaching quarter time in this clash. Ball's thrown up. Crisp v Blake renewing acquaintances in the ruck contest. He drops the footy to Brody Haddo. the opposite number Harry Luxmore didn't. He gets it to half forward, finds Zach Dennehy, but opposing beautifully is Zach Hare, who works it up towards centre wing. He's chased by Stephen Strubens, and ball goes towards the boundary line in front of the club rooms here at Harry Trott Oval, the home ground for the South Bendigo Football Netball Club, and we're very close to the first change.
Anthony Zimmerman started well today for the Bloods. There's been another who's doing some good things. He'll be in the running for our Sponsors Award, Bendigo City Framers voucher at the end of the day.
A quarter-time score, Mount Pleasant 4-1-25, lead Heathcote 2-7-19 in the Heathcote District Footy League.
Keep you across the Loddon Valley as well. An intriguing round of games out there, as well as all the things happening in Bendigo footy. Here on Live 25, local fresh footy, the only place you'll hear it all, of course. Gray's kick from the stoppage for the Dogs, up toward half forward, taken cleverly. Handball around the corner now. Miletus working in tight confines. Gray's run on. He tries to dribble it goalward, and he misses it to the near side from the right forward pocket. 7 behinds, plays 2-2. Dogs trailing, nearly half an hour gone in this opening term.
Extraordinary.
No idea how long how we've gone that long. We've only had 2 goals kicked, Jacko.
It's a miracle, really. Cody Brooks's kick was no good. Straight to Zach Dennehy, who's had a lot of it in this opening term, but Gisborne have not found one goal. They'd love one here in the dying moments of this opening quarter. McKenna, the intended target. Also there, Luxmore. He got hands to it. It spills to the deck. No one can collect. Eventually it's picked up by Brock Harvey, who has a bit of a fumble. He had support. Brody Haddo combines with Crisp and Brock Harvey, but they've turned the footy over. Blake inside 50. Foot pass, superb. And marking is Luke Miletus. And he can line up for perhaps, surely, Gisborne's first goal of this contest.
Yeah, Crisp has had the advantage over Blake in the actual ruck contest, but Blake's starting to get a bit of the ball at ground level and making the most of his possessions.
He had 15 touches last week, did Luke Miletus, and he kicked 2 goals in an impressive 117-point win for the Bulldogs against Kangaroo Flat. Miletus, he will kick from 35 metres out, 45-degree angle, looks good, and the goal-kicking drought is over at the 31-minute mark of this opening term, a very long term, in fact. 1-7 Gisborne, South Bendigo 2-2. Score sponsor, Don Smallgoods. Is good.
Yes, reward finally for Gisborne for their excellent effort in getting the ball forward. And as I said, Michael, I'm thinking back of Brayton's old man.
Dean Henderson's going to coach Castlemaine next year, Normie.
No, of Brayton's old man who played his first game of Bendigo League football here.
Really? Against the Cockerels?
With the Cockerels.
With the Cockerels. There you go. Afternoon to you, Michael, if you're listening or watching. As a low kick inside the forward 50. Great stoppage work from the Dogs. Merritt got it off to McKenna. And Pat McKenna, their premiership captain of 2022, puts the hand up and says, don't worry, boys, the right forward pocket. 5 in from the boundary, 40 from home. I'll take it from here and I'll feign all that and I'll chip it infield to Luxmore, who's got it on a 45-degree angle to the right of centre. He will kick after the siren, and that means, Norm,
he cannot play on, Joel. He must run straight towards the goals and kick straight over the man on the mark.
That's a very verbose way of saying what Jock Clark said many times. So good afternoon, Jock. And let's see what Harry Luxmore can do with this. To hand the Dogs the lead after the quarter-time siren. He loves it. He loves it off the boot. And after they couldn't kick one for 31 minutes, the Dogs get 2 in 2 minutes to end the quarter, and they've got the lead at quarter time. Gisborne 2-7-19, South Bendigo 2-2-14, and this game is living up to the billing in the opening term, which is great to see. Score sponsor Aussie Disposals, plenty more action coming from Harry Trott Oval. It's the Dogs by 5 points over the Bloods, Live 25, local fresh footy.
It's driving through the heat and the pouring rain. It's the champ who can't be beat. It's Australia's greatest game. It's a game we all grew up with. Now you gotta help it grow. Get it on there. Country football.
Banks are made for footy. Gisborne is good.
Here's the picture. Picture Art Plus and Bendigo City Framers are now one massive business, offering you even greater opportunities. Enjoy the same fantastic staff and service that brings your innovative designs to life. You can frame your memories or explore other stunning artwork. Plus there's wall art, framing options and convenient parking right at the door. Fresh sponsor located at 88 Garcead Street, Bendigo, on the corner of Arthur Street. Got the picture?
Fresh FM sponsor.
Talk to Grant Benno and his local team at
When it comes to reducing pain and rebuilding strength, Kaiser leaves nothing to chance. Our university-qualified health professionals don't just treat problem areas, they design personalised training programs using Swiss-engineered machines unique to Kaiser. These machines safely isolate the affected area, test your strength, and help rebuild your muscles for a stronger and healthier life. Kaiser. Physiotherapy, rehabilitation and strength training. Building strength with precision.
It's time for the Bendigo Football Netball League Top 5 from Round 8. Number 1, Stephen Strabance from South Bendigo. A delicate snap. That is just all class. Have a look at that again. Oh, yes. Number 2, Will Allen from South Bendigo. A great pickup. Then the check side, bending that one in nicely. Good goal. Number 3, Jack O'Shaughnessy from Eaglehawk. The juggler then gets it and dribbles it home. A beautiful goal. Maybe a clown in another life. Look at that. Bang. Highlights are plenty from the boys from South Bendigo. This time Brock Harvey gets on the end of one. Lovely snap, guiding it home. Oh yeah, party time. Last but not least, Charlie Robinson from Sandhurst here. Good handball, receive, and a brilliant goal from a bit of distance. Just makes it over. A brilliant snag.
Franks, they're made for the footy. Is done, is good.
Quarter time at Harry Trott Oval, and Gisborne with 2 goals in the final 2 minutes of the opening term, having not kicked one in the first 31 minutes of the game, have taken the lead over South Bendigo at quarter time, 2-7-19 to 2-2-14. It was an inaccurate Gisborne to start this game, but they got their things straightened up toward the end of that opening term, and they've got a 5-point lead after 1 here at Harry Trott Oval in Kennington. A very wintry Saturday afternoon at the footy. Great to have your company though. Joel Peterson, Norm Jenkins, Jackson Saunders calling it for you. John Hunter pushing all the buttons here. Glenn Gordon is back in the studio on Live 25 local fresh footy. We'll take a look at some of the scores around the place before we get to our quarter time review here. Eaglehawk 5-6-36 lead Kangaroo Flat 2 behinds out of Canterbury Park. Castlemaine by 10 points over Golden Square at Wade Street, and Sandhurst 6-3-39 leads Strathfield Say 1 behind at the Queen Elizabeth Oval. So some big results, or some looking like some potentially big results in the grand scheme of things today in terms of some of those matchups. Jacko, what have you got filtering through on the text line?
In the Loddon Valley Football League, quarter time at Calaval, Mitiamo 5-4-34 lead Calaval 1-8. So that's an encouraging start for the Superoos. Serpentine take on Inglewood, and it's Besliger and Serpentine 4-5-29 leading Inglewood 2 straight 12. I'm chasing a score from Pyramid Hill Morong. That's the match of the round. Kevin Frankel will keep us posted shortly on that one.
Thank you. Goal kickers here. Brock Harvey, Stephen Strubens, both with goals for the Bloods. Harry Luxmore, Luke Miletus with goals for the Bulldogs. Normie, who did you like for the Dogs in the opening term?
Well, early on in the opening term, it was hard to find a better player for Gisborne, but as the quarter wore on, Luxmore and McKenna both two-pronged forward attack there were very good. Luxmore went up the ground, unlike usually it's McKenna. Gray was good, so was Braden Blake. He got into the game and also Murphy.
That's going to happen more than once
It
throughout
is,
the course
yeah.
of the afternoon. We'll get your thoughts on the Bloods shortly, Jacko. We're underway in the second term here. Haddo with the opening clearance. Gets it inside 50. Zimmerman burns away and he puts his head in his hands in frustration. He ran toward the pocket on the right boot, tried to curl it home and couldn't get it there. A minus score for the Bloods narrows that gap to 4 points. Jacko, who was your best for the Bloods in the opening term?
Ryan Burke brings it in for the Bulldogs, and better players for the Bloods: Brock Harvey, Stephen Strubens, Josh Nitsky, Callum Crisp and Alex Davis stood out for me for the Bloods in that term, as Zachary Vescovi, who we spoke to pre-game for the Bulldogs, goes to centre wing. Crisp, though, intercepts, has support from Jack Fallon. He has support from Brereton. He weaves in and out of traffic, kicks it to half forward. Harvey, a terrific mark has been taken. Wastes no time, lays it off inside 50. Offhand, spills to Zimmerman. He has a flying shot at goal. Off the right boot, a fantastic finish and a glorious goal from Anthony Zimmerman, his 5th of the season. And that was so good to watch here on Live 25 Local Fresh Footy.
Yes, he was at the fall of the ball, the right place at the front of the pack, and a lovely kick in from Brock Harvey. And Zimmerman made no mistake from 40 metres out and has given South Bendigo a spark early in this second quarter.
He's been really good so far, Zimmerman. He wasn't going to make that same mistake twice, Norm.
No, he missed that one at the start of the quarter and made up for it then. And South Bendigo, to their credit, they're playing some good football today, and Gisborne are going to have to be at their best if they are to take the 4 points come 5 o'clock tonight.
A terrific goal, that's for sure, from Zimmerman. So that means they go to 3-3, plays 2 goals, 7 on Live 25 Local Fresh Footy. Score sponsor, Aussie Disposals.
So ball back in the middle. Now, what do the Dogs have in response to that? Third lead change of the game so far. Blake and Crisp crash into each other in the centre of the ground. Crisp follows up at ground level. Off to Collins of the Bloods. Swatton chips it forward. Zimmerman going back with the fly and almost reeled it in with one hand. Coming over the top is Davies to lay the tackle on Dennehy. And we'll have a ball up inside the forward 50. And Dennehy's down and a little bit sore is Jed, as he slowly picks himself up to his feet. He's got, of course, that right shoulder strapped as is customary. Ball tossed aloft. Blake inside the defensive 50 for the Dogs. Clough burrows in. Good tackle laid by Davies, not letting them come away easily. And we will have a ball up right at the top of the back 50 for the Dogs.
Ball's thrown up, knocked down by Blake. Crisp then manhandled the footy towards Zimmerman, who got that last goal. He showed sheer strength to work it out, and the Bloods sent it deep inside 50, and Tonowich was calling for it. So too was Stephen Strubens, who outmuscled Ryan Burke, his direct opponent, to take a very nice grab. He's already kicked one today, has Stephen Strubens, and a chance for his second.
Well, that was a match-up I predicted at the start of the game, and it's been Strubens that's been on top against Ryan Burke so far in this match.
Stephen Strubens, who will kick this from about 35 metres out, and that was an entertaining distraction for Ryan Burke, but it didn't succeed because the goal was kicked and South Bendigo go to 4-3, 27. They lead Gisborne 2-7-19. Full marks to Ryan Burke with as he tried to distract Stephen Strubens from kicking his second goal of the afternoon.
Sorry, we went with a what?
Ooh.
Ah, right, okay.
Stephen Strubens is, for mine, he's been the best forward or the most dangerous forward on the ground so far. He's kicked 2 too, and quite easily could have kicked 4 goals.
Probably should have. So far, he had the set shot in that opening quarter. And whatever Ryan Burke did, I don't quite know how to describe it, but it did not work. Let's go back in the middle. Clough takes it away for the Dogs. Kicks inside the forward 50, looking for McKenna. Miletus gets back there for Gisborne. Clough rushes onto it. He followed up his own work. He ran 60 metres to get back to the footy. Got it to McKenna. Handball to Benaki. Handball back to McKenna inside forward 50 for the Dogs. Back in centrally, looking for a couple of youngsters there. Johns and Zarafa. Haddo stands tall for the Bloods. He's in that contest. No one can take it cleanly in the end. And inside forward 50 for the Bulldogs. We will have a ball up. 5 gone, second term. It is the Bloods who lead by 8 points, having kicked back-to-back goals to start here in this quarter. Taken away by Johnston at the stoppage now. He hooks it high around his body. Almost fell into the lap of Brad Benaki, 40 from home. Fight for the footy on again. Big pack around it. Umpire circles and says mine. And a ball up at the top of the 50 for the Dogs.
North Central Football League update. Birchip Watcham 5-6-36. Lead Donald 1-1-7 at quarter time. And it's Sanana trailing Wedderburn by 42 points. The Redbacks are dominating in that contest. Sanana have not yet scored. As Gisborne get the take out, the Bloods I should say, and it's been stolen by Gisborne's Jed Dennehy, who works it to half back, and he's found Zachary Vescovy, who goes to centre wing on the outer side. The foot pass was effective for Campbell Jones, and he just hits the pause button because it's very congested inside attacking 50 for the Gisborne side. Defensively, it's Hayden Geddes who gets it, works over the top to Harvey. His hand pass is intercepted by Campbell Jones, who's got it close to the boundary line. He's gang tackled and will need to have a ball up. It's an 8-point lead to South Bendigo. Live 25, local fresh footy.
Quarter time MCD of Nell Harcourt and Denali 31 points apiece.
Good game there as Denali try and make their statement. Look at Braden Blake burst away from the stoppage. He ran gate and ceded some territory, got it on the left boot, kicked toward half forward, turned over, taken away by Harvey, kicks inside the 50. Struben's got Burke right where he wanted him. The kick just floated over his head. Vescovy dashes across to try and intercept the footy but can't keep it in. It'll be thrown in underneath the scoreboard in front of our broadcast position. 27 the Bloods, 19 the Dogs. 3 lead changes in the game so far. Gisborne took it going into quarter time thanks to a Harry Luxmore goal, his second. And the Bloods through Zimmerman and Strubens have hit the front once more here at Harry Trott Oval. As it just looks like it's, if it is even possible, it looks like it's even colder beyond the windows of our commentary box here. Long kick up the line toward Luxmore for Gisborne. It'll come back the other way with some interest. Fallon to Davies, just couldn't hang on at the edge of the 50 for the Bloods. Then he might have taken some high contact. He thought he did. Clough was in that contest as well. And at the junction of the boundary in the 50, we'll have it tossed in again.
I thought he was caught high there, Davies, in that accidental collision of bodies from both sides. Ball will be thrown back in. And we see Blake go to the front position. He taps it down for Bradley Benaki. The Bloods, though, inside 50 deep. Struben's got hands to it. Zimmerman there also. Harvey front and centre. Feeds the hand pass to Alexander Smith. Snap around the body. Mark has been taken on the last line of defence. And it's cleared by Vescovy, who we spoke to earlier. Long penetrating ball looking for Campbell Jones. It's intercepted once more by Jack Fallon for South Bendigo, who works the ball out of bounds at safety and will have it thrown back in.
As in the first quarter, South Bendigo have started this second quarter full of pressure, and they're certainly keeping the pressure right on their Bulldogs opponents.
ZFNL Life member Norm Jenkin with us this afternoon on Live 25 local fresh footy. Braden Blake goes to ground. He's tackled by Jesse Collins and Joel Swatton. We'll do it all again. Centre wing, George Street side here at Harry Trott. Very gloomy, wintry day in Bendigo. Zimmerman, he goes after the footy, scurries after it, picks it up in the centre of the ground, kicks inside forward 50. Wonderful gather from Vescovy the first time, and then he got taken in the tackle by Smith the second time. Good tough stuff from the interleague defender. And we'll have a ball up about 38 metres out from the South Bendigo goal.
Very precise, rivaling Johnny Hunter there. Joel Jacob Murphy gets the clearing ball. Lucas Hannon made his debut last week, tackled. And another ball up, a fine effort, 2 on debut, 4 goals from his 10 touches last week. There's about 15 players around this contest. It's tapped down by Callum Crisp in the ruck. But the tackling again, this time from Bradley Benaki. Superb, textbook style, and we'll need to do it all over again. Centre wing, outer side here at Harry Trott Oval. It's an 8-point lead to the Bloods.
He's been impressive as Hannon. 4 goals playing mostly on a wing and started to really use his speed to get out the back of that Kangaroo Flat defence last week. The stoppage, kick up toward Campbell Johns, couldn't take it with him. Fighting for the footy there was Darcy Young, another of the Dogs' youngsters. It trickles out underneath the big eucalypt on that George Street side. It'll be tossed back into play. Burke and Strubens can hardly be split. Tom Werner's done a good job on Caden Antonovich, who really hasn't seen the footy up front for the Bloods as yet, Norm.
No, true. Interesting to see. Blake's going to have a break because him and Benaki have just started to form a good partnership on the ground.
Yeah, Merritt in the ruck now for the Dogs. He can't do much with it at the stoppage. Tackle is laid in there, and we will have a ball up still across half forward for Gisborne.
And Benaki gets first use of it. Quick boot to ball inside 50 with the kick and a diving lunge, and grab has been taken for the Gisborne Football Club across right half forward. And it's in the arms of Luke Miletus, who's kicked one today. A cheerio, by the way, to Kath McNaughton, the grandmother of Sandhurst Tom Campbell, a devotee of Live 25 local fresh footy. Great to catch up with you yesterday at Estia Health. A cheerio to all the residents there, who I promised I'd greet about this time. As Miletus kicks off the right boot, it's long, it's deep, and it's accurate. A delightful goal. That is his second, Luke Miletus, and Gisborne with their first goal of this second term. Norm Jenkin on Live 25 local fresh footy.
Yes, poor defending by South Bendigo there with that shot at goal, because they didn't have a tall defender on the goal line, and the ball just happened to get over the top of the pack, which was about 5 metres out, and go through for a goal. So Gisborne starting to get a bit of the football in this quarter after South Bendigo had it for most of the start of the quarter.
And margin back to 2 now, the way of the Bloods. First goal of this term, as Norm said, for the Dogs. 12 minutes gone here on Live 25 local fresh footy, and starting to get their hands on it around the middle now, the Dogs. Gray kicks up toward half forward. That's a terrific tackle there from Miletus, who's really engaged in the game now. Darling up to meet it. Miletus onto him in a flash. And a ball up at centre half forward for the visiting Gisborne Bulldogs. Grand finalists of last year, of course. Johnston, handball through the traffic. Now it's inside forward 50 for the Dogs. Young flicks it wide. Miletus is there again. Almost had a chance at a third. Just couldn't get boot to ball and find any space. Campbell-Johns inside the 50 now. He picks it up. Throws it on his boot toward goal. It'll spill toward Gray in that left forward pocket. He was coming at a rate of knots there, James Gray, but couldn't take it with him. Then a high tackle, maybe? Yes. Free kick paid in that left forward pocket. And no, in fact, it is a ball up. Got very excited there, Jacko. All about nothing. Ball up deep forward for the Dogs.
Very understandable, though. It was an exciting little passage of play. It's Collins who gets the clearing ball.
Oh.
And, gee, it was a heavy clamour of bodies, that's for sure. Zach Hare in amongst it. Harvey now, and an open goal mouth. He'll have one bounce. He'll waltz into about 30 out from goal and put it through ever so comfortably. And that is his second. South Bendigo go to 5-3. Gisborne are 3-7. And at Mitchell Park in the Loddon Valley Football League, it's Morong 5 straight 30, leaving Pyramid Hill 117. Score sponsor Parsons Towings. Here's Norm Jenkin on Live 25 local fresh footy.
Yes, interesting body work by Harvey then. Used the forearm to nudge his opponent forward, and then able to take an easy chest mark, run into an open goal. But I don't know whether his teammates were talking to him, because the Gisborne defender was getting close when he kicked.
Yes, absolutely. And there must have been some talking going on, Norm, because the Bloods are going to get a free kick out of the middle. Cal Crisp's going to whack it in there once more. Says, have a play with this, boys. Stephen Struben soars. Can't take the mark. He's used to sitting on people's heads through his decorated career. Sims gets pushed off it. And now Pat McKenna's just gone into that Gisborne defence, coming right up the ground to try and stem the bleeding. Umpire tosses it up. Zach Dennehy tries to thump it out of there as hard as he can by hand. Has another go. Now McKenna takes it. Fallon grabs him, not letting him go. 30 out from the Bloods goal. We will have a ball up. 5-3 plays 3-7. Bloods by 8, 14 and a half gone, second term.
The Bloods have kicked 3 goals to 1, and we're only in the midway stages of this second quarter. Benaki shows courage. He just fearlessly put his head over the football. There was about 15 players surrounding him. but Bradley Benaki with eyes only for the ball. 34 touches last week against Kangaroo Flat. He is a star player for the Bulldogs. Dennehy in the ruck contest. Couldn't tap it down. Joel Swatton is tackled. He was in amongst it. And we'll see, Joel, if you can clear the congestion here, 25 metres out from the Bloods goal.
I'll pull my head over the pill, Jacko, see what we can do. Then he goes up. Fallon takes it away, try to get boot to ball. He just manically threw it down at his boot. Strubens almost took a very heavy hit there. Handball turned over, picked off by Haddo, who throws it on the boot out of the congestion and kicks the goal. 4 in the quarter for South Bendigo. And they are starting to just eat the door open, the Bloods, and put a bit of a gap in the game. 6-3-39 plays 3-7-25 halfway through this second term. Score sponsor Jason Westcott Builder, Live 25, local fresh footy.
Yes, Jack and Troy would be very happy with the pressure that the South Bendigo forwards are putting on the Gisborne defence when the ball comes inside 50, and they've made the most of it. 4 goals for the quarter. It's been an excellent effort so far. Gisborne now, they've got to get hold of the football and play a bit of tempo football and get control.
The thoughts of Norm Jenkins. Crisp knocked it down. Zimmerman takes it away. He takes the game on indeed. Hand pass goes astray. Benaki, enormous courage, feeds the hand pass looking for Gray. Instead got Dylan Johnston, who works it up to centre wing, but it's been stolen by Isaiah Miller. He kicks back to Benaki though. Again, gutsy mark going back with the fly of the ball. He had no idea who was coming towards him, but he did not flinch. The kick though, no good. It's straight back to Isaiah Miller, who I've really been impressed with in this game so far, with those yellow boots, and he's worked it out to centre wing in front of the club rooms.
Yeah, interleague defender, of course, Isaiah Miller. And now off to Zimmerman. Zimmerman, spot-up kick in the pocket is an absolute beauty to find Alex Smith. Tight on the boundary line in the right forward pocket, 30 from home. Muscovy tried to take some territory to stop him from coming around the mark. And Alex Smith, who's on the fringe of this South Bendigo team, he's played 4 games so far this season. He kicked a couple of goals against the Dog. His only senior goals of the season back in round 2. And this is a pretty tough assignment. Right forward pocket, tied up against the boundary line. It's only a 30-metre kick, but the angle is all kinds of difficult. Is he up for it? No, he just misses it away to the right-hand side. 6-3-39 the Bloods. In fact, 6-4-40, 3-7-25 Gisborne. The 15-point margin is the biggest that we have had in the game. 17.5 gone second term. Score sponsor is Don Is Good.
Bradley Benaki's kick was interesting. It landed between about 3 South Bendigo players. Enormous pressure created for Zarappa. Benaki follows up. He knew he made a meal of it. Thankfully, they get out of it. Shane Clough now clears. For how long, though, is the question. It's been chopped off by Darling. So Darling for the Bloods over the top to Collins. He hurriedly inside 50 finds the loose player, Alexander Smith. And that was creative and opportunistic football from South Bendigo as they worked it forward, Norm. And now chance for Smith to get an extraordinary 5th goal for the Bloods in this term.
Yes, that was good football by South Bendigo then. Lowered their eyes when they went into forward 50, found a man out the back and was able to pinpoint in between 3 Gisborne players.
Was it a tiny bit of a shank, the kick?
Oh, the way he was going, I don't think it was. I think he actually lowered the eyes and saw the teammate.
All right.
Alexander Smith at this 18-minute mark of this term kicks truly, and South Bendigo are on fire. 7 goals for 46 to Gisborne. 3 goals, 7, 25. Score sponsor Don Smallgoods is Don Is Good. Live 25, local fresh footy.
And once again, that came from South Bendigo's pressure. Their pressure through the midfield. They gave Gisborne nothing to kick to when they come out of their back 50, and they got it back in quick, which meant they caught the Gisborne defenders off guard as they were moving forward for the previous Gisborne attack.
It's been really impressive stuff this quarter from the Bloods. Kicked the opening 2. They've now got the last 3 in the game to open up a game-high 21-point lead. Having beaten Gisborne down in Gisborne in round 2, they are throwing down the challenge to the grand finalists of last year once more. They're the only team to topple the Dogs this season. They're looking to do it twice in the space of 9 weeks. Repeat stoppage in the middle. Johnston paddles it out toward the boundary line for the Dogs. Won't be able to keep it in. It'll be tossed back into play. Plenty of red and white over there. Some splashes of blue thrown in among the red and white. Maybe a little bit of a turn up on the A-grade netball court as well, Norm. At the moment it is 33 apiece, and South Bendigo have led that game for a good chunk of it over Gisborne, who've been one of the powerhouses of A-grade netball in recent seasons. Benaki tumbles it down the line from the stoppage. Hits up a target in Luxmore. Kick inside forward 50 for the Dogs now. High footy. Coming out to meet it. Oh, McKenna. He had 4/5 of it. Couldn't pull it in. It would have been a spectacular mark had he done so. Darcy Young then lays the tackle. And a ball up 35 metres out from the Dogs' goal. They trail by 21. We're 21 through the second quarter.
It was an exemplary tackle from Darcy Young. I admired his effort to create this stoppage. Knocked down, Swatton after it. Gisborne inside attack. They look to work it out though to the Bloods. Isaiah Miller there, very close to the boundary line. Shot on goal, and it's just a behind. Off hands through for a rush behind. 3:26 Gisborne. South Bendigo 7-4. 46. Score sponsor Jason Westcott. Build a live 25. Local fresh footy.
Ever seen netballers playing long sleeves, Norm?
No, I haven't
There's
actually,
a couple
Joel.
of the South Bendigo netballers out there playing in the long sleeves today.
Well, I had the right idea. That's a great idea.
I think that's absolutely tremendous. Gabe Richards being one of them. Playing in goals for the Bloods makes such a difference to their team. Long kick in for the Bloods from defence. Gets almost to the middle of the ground where a massive pack fights for the footy. Coming out of there was Nitschke. Got it to Haddo. Got it to Swatton. Some birds have descended on our commentary box, I think, in the effects mic, just quietly. Dylan Johnstone comes away with it now for the Dogs at centre half back. That's what you can hear in the background if you're wondering along at home. Dennehy, he handballed as good as a kick. Geddes thought it was a kick. He got caught thinking he'd taken a mark. Umpire said play on. Johns comes away with it for the Dogs. Blasts it to full forward. And kicks it straight to Alex Davis.
Poor kick going forward then. Didn't lower his eyes.
As long as they're not magpies, I'm happy. Joel Rusbridge to Collins on centre wing. Receives for the Bloods.
All your fans in Castlemaine just tuned out, Jacko.
Or of that AFL team everyone loves to despise. Kick to half forward, Crisp. He dropped the sitter. He recovers partially. He sockers it toward Harvey. Now he goes off by hand to Darling. It's deep up towards the tip of the goal square. Struben's had a few against him. Oh, that was an absolute comedy. But the ball was placed perfectly for Caden Antonowicz to get his first of the afternoon. He had a couple of Gisborne defenders around him, but they left the ball behind. A disaster. And that is South Bendigo's 6th of this term, Norm, and their league goes further ahead.
Yes, the Lux was South Bendigo. There was 3 Gisborne players there. There was Antonowicz. It looked as though Benaki was going to run onto it. It bounced away from Benaki.
Wrong-footed him, didn't it?
Wrong-footed him completely, and left it with Antonowicz to stroll into an open goal and kick it from on the goal line. And South Bendigo certainly playing premiership football in the second quarter. Usually it's the third quarter that you need the premiership football, Joel. So what Gisborne have got to do now, they've got Blake back on the ground. They've got to get hold of the football. They've got to control the football. Their last 3 forward 50 entries have been just blasted in there up high.
It's been really impressive for the Bloods. Game high 26-point lead, and Braden Blake decides he wants to take it by the scruff of the neck, rips it out of the middle, kicks inside forward 50. Darling's back there for the Bloods. This defence again continues to hold up. Geddes now drives the kick down the line, looking for Crisp or McCaig. And standing in front of them both, laying a good tackle, was Evans. Well, he tried to get the handball away. McCaig tackled him and wins a free kick. And now the Bloods can build it up through the centre of the ground. Kick up toward Fallon. Almost a hand on it on the Dogs on the way through. Merritt across half-back now for Gisborne. It's all under pressure. It's all panic, rushed stuff at the moment. Clough kicks it as far as he can. It tumbles out toward the boundary line. It gets a hand on her on the way through, and it will be thrown back in front of the South Bendigo bench. 8-4-52 to 3-8-26. 6 goals to 1 in the quarter for the Bloods. There's still plenty of time left. We are 24 and a half through it on Live 25 local fresh footy.
The opening term went 32 minutes, didn't it? So I'd say there could still be up to 10 minutes
with
play.
only 4 goals kicked too, Jacko.
That's right. Haddo for the Bloods puts his head over it, has support, and it comes to Zimmerman. Gisborne defend well, though, on this occasion. Zai Zarappa inside 50. Good mark, McKenna. He's taken it about 48 metres out from goal with 48 on his back. And Pat McKenna can line up for... He's been very quiet today. He hasn't kicked a goal indeed. So it'd be his first for the afternoon if he converts.
Yes, the first time Pat's been able to get off the leash and get out on a lead and take a mark. And this is a pressure goal, but he's certainly the person with the right person to have the ball in his hands.
2 behinds on the board so far for Pat.
Been a little inaccurate. He would love a goal here. That is a massive understatement. It's across the face, though, and his third behind of the afternoon. Disappointing result. Gisborne 3-9-27. South Bendigo 8-4-52. Score sponsor Bendigo City Framers Live 25 local fresh footy.
Yeah, that was a better forward 50 entry by Gisborne. They lowered their eyes.
Kick in toward Fallon, who left it behind. He normally does the kick-ins, and Benaki pounces on it. He sockers it through. That's a catastrophic error. And Brad Benaki makes South Bendigo pay the price. The short kick in from fullback. Fallon dropped it. It spilt to ground, and Benaki was there to capitalise. Gisborne second of the term. They go to 4-9-33. South Bendigo 8-4-52. And we are 26 minutes into the second quarter. Score sponsor Jason Westcott Builder, Live 25 local fresh footy. Sorry, Normie.
You're all right, Joel. It was good reward there for pressure football. As I said, Gisborne, their last couple of forward 50 entries, they've lowered their eyes and looked for a forward, and if they continue to do that, they'll have success.
Chris dominating the ruck, but the takeout is with Shane Clark, who sends it to centre-half forward, and a chance beckons. Zena Dennehy just got boot to ball as he was tackled, and it went skewy off the boot and through for a behind. 14-34 Gisborne. South Bendigo 8-4-52 as the Bloods bring the ball back into play and work it towards Harvey across half back.
Yeah, Brereton with the long kick in, so this one was a little bit more decisive from Tommy Brereton. Ball spills to the ground and it'll be tossed aloft. 18 points is the margin. Gisborne came home with a wet sail in that opening term, wanting to close the gap to go into half-time. Not too far in arrears of the Bloods, who kicked 6 in the quarter so far. Crisp threw it out of the contest, still across half forward for the Dogs. Benaki starting to get really busy now. He's in on goal here, and his check side is, less than very good, to be perfectly honest. He bounced it off the bonnet of the car that's parked in the right forward pocket. Out of bounds on the full. The Bloods will bring it back in.
Blake the intended target. Ball comes to the back of the pack, and it's Lucas Hannon who gets it. Haddo, though, intercepts. Has support coming from Zach Sims, who is tackled and will have a ball up. Half-time at Calival. It's Mitty Ammo 7-7-49 over Calival 3-5-23. In the Huntley LBU game, it's half-time, and it's the Cats by 12 points over the Hawks.
Ball comes up for grabs. This time it's Evans, Blake, and now a long kick up toward half forward for Gray for the Dogs. Reading it beautifully off the pack is Merritt. He goes the check side as well, and that's a shocking decision. That was nowhere near it from Matt Merritt, who was in on goal. Probably could have kicked the drop punt, and he's just been lucky to score. 4-11-35 to 8-4-52, so 17 points the margin, 29 gone in this second term. Score sponsor is Donny's Good. Jack Fallon's taking control of the kick-ins again for the Bloods.
Yes, Gisborne shooting themselves in the foot with these last couple of entries. 2 chances to have goals and nothing on the board to show for it.
If they're shooting themselves in the foot, fair chance they won't be kicking themselves afterward, Norm.
That's true, Joel.
Fallon to Collins across half back. Mount Pleasant lead Heathcote by 13 points at half time in the Heathcote District Footy League. Next link in the chain is Zach Sims. Ball fist away from him. Gisborne work it back inside towards McKenna. It's defensively done well by Josh Nitsky, who helps to clear for the Bloods. They've worked to half back. Hare and Rusbridge combine also. And at half-time at Mitchell Park, it's Morong 7 straight, 42 over Pyramid Hill, 3-2-20. So 22-point lead to the Panthers in what was previewed as the match of the round, first v second.
Norm and I are in conflict over here, Jackson. He's standing on my headphone cable. I think he's tucked it into his sock now, so I've got a call from all the way down here. Ball goes to ground and it'll be tossed up.
Yes,
Just trying to rip my head off.
Quite an amusing sight. It suits 3 or 4-year-olds, that vantage point, Joel.
Yeah, 30 minutes gone here in this second term. 17-point lead to South Bendigo, who, gee, they'd want to go in with maybe a little bit more to show for this dominant second term, to be perfectly honest. Johnston kicks it high into the breeze, which you can now hear through our effects mic. Just picked up a little bit in the last 5 or 10 minutes. Blake had it, lost it, taken away by Zimmerman, who's been terrific for the Bloods. Kicks to the edge of the 50. Vescovi, like a good goalkeeper, just parried it over the bar and got it out of play. It'll be thrown back in. Right forward pocket, Bloods into attack, looking for a late one in this second term. They lead 8-4 to 4-11. We are more than half an hour gone in this second term.
A long term, we've got 3 small windows in this commentary box, Joel, and for a moment you were sitting on the floor looking at the bottom of those 3 windows. Yep, certainly a dilemma you face, but you navigated it well. 8-4, South Bendigo, Gisborne 4-11.
Normally just trying to bring me down a couple of rungs, Jacko.
As the Bloods, you said I had a big head pre-game, not sure, Norm, maybe it's about Joel. As the ball hits the deck, deep inside 50, and it's gone out of bounds again in the right forward pocket. Thanks to the South Bendigo Football Club for their hospitality today. I see a number of sandwiches there and 3 party pies, which Johnny Hunter has shown great self-control with up until this point in our broadcast. Ball spinning back into play. Braden Blake taps it down. Gray put head over the footy. Zimmerman, though, stole it from him. He is a gun, I reckon. He got the hand pass out, but Blake got in the way again, the big man. Zimmerman's lurking. Gray there too, tackling from both sides. Tremendous. And we'll have to have another ball up 25 metres out from the Bloods' goal.
There's been happening in that play. Benaki and James Davies into it. Blood and Blake was almost doing the splits. It's all going on inside forward 50 for the Bloods late in this term. Slapped down. Gray buries into a tackle. Sims came over the shoulder. Umpire said it was okay. We're going to do it all again. 32 minutes gone here in this term. The Bloods have kicked 6 in the quarter. The Dogs just 2. Deep inside forward 50 for South Bendigo here at their home ground. Bretherton had it, lost it. Now it's across the boundary line. And it'll be tossed back in. Right forward pocket. South Bendigo pressing for a late one here in this quarter. They lead by 17 points nearing half-time.
They've kicked 6 of the 8 goals in this quarter. 2 have South Bendigo, so they have dominated. Blake taps it down to Dylan Johnston, who's tackled. The crowd goes ball, as you heard through our effects mic. And the free kick has been picked out to South Bendigo. And it's the man who I've loved in this term, Anthony Zimmerman. He's kicked 1 this afternoon. That was at the 2-minute mark of this term. So he's really set the pace in this quarter. And potentially he will kick 2 of the 7 goals in this term for the Bloods. And the Bloods could go into half-time having kicked 7 of 9 goals in the second term. Zimmerman off the right boot. We're directly behind you. Goal umpire did not move. South Bendigo 9-4 are dominating. They lead Gisborne 4 goals 11. Live 25 local fresh footy. Score sponsor Parsons Towings. Here's Norm Jenkins.
Yes, with South Bendigo in control. Gisborne now, they've got to settle down, get control of the football and play a bit of keepings off to end this quarter and hopefully score at the end of it to keep themselves under 3 goals behind.
Absolute belter in the A-grade netball as well, Normie. I think it's 43-44 as South Bendigo score another goal. So they trail by 1 and they've got possession late in that game. So that's going to be fun to watch in the closing stages. They might get another goal to go into half-time here, the Bloods. Kick inside forward 50. Davies went through the pack. It's knocked by Strubens into the open goal. Rolls Smith. 2 in 30 seconds for the Bloods. And all of a sudden, they're hot to trot with back-to-back goals. 10-4-64. 8 for the quarter for South Bendigo. Gisborne 4-11-35, and all the work they'd done to stem the bleeding and get themselves back into the game comes undone That South Bendigo lead is back out to 29 points, the biggest it's been in the game, Norm.
Yes, it is, Joel. As I said, Gisborne had to get control of that football out of the centre. They weren't able to. But what great work by Strubens there. He was in a pack of 3 or 4 players. He was able to tap it over the top into the advantage of Smith.
Smith with his second goal. Blake manhandled his opponent, Crisp in the ruck, but neither side could get the take out. Free kick for a high tackle. Banaki giving it 100% grit and determination. Plays on, but he might be ran down from behind. Just got the kick away in the nick of time. Deep is the kick, but the defensive interception is superb for South Bendigo as the siren sounds. Half-time, the Bloods 10-4-64 lead Gisborne 4-11-35 in a quarter, Joel, which I prophesied could take 35 minutes. The siren has just gone.
Yes, it's 35 minutes and 12 seconds in the end, Jacko. And we've got a real game in our hands in terms of senior footy. The Bloods are out by 29, but you would never rule Gisborne out. And over on the A-grade netball court, it is 45 apiece. So there's some really good action here at Harry Trott Oval this afternoon. Goal kickers in that first half for the Bloods. Harvey has 2, Strubens has 2, Zimmerman has 2, Smith has 2. For the Dogs, their only multiple goal scorer, Luke Miletus. Before we go to a break at halftime, Norm, how do you sum up that quarter? I mean, 8 goals for the Bloods. Gisborne got it back on their terms late in the quarter, and then South with those 2 late goals to blow it open again.
Yes, it was good football by South early in the quarter. They got the ball out in the open. They ran the ball, as we know they can, and their delivery to the forward 50 was exemplary early in that quarter. But to Gisborne's credit, they got the ball back on their terms, and it was scrappy in the middle stages of that quarter. They were a little bit unlucky. They had to bomb the ball into their forward 50, but they made the most of their forward 50 entries and got back onto almost equal terms, back to within 15 points. But then they let themselves down in that last 2 or 3 minutes of play, where South Bendigo got control out of their centre. They got long kicks forward, and from there, teammates were able to run onto the ball. And Smith, well, very good, 2 goals that quarter, and one was exemplary from on the angle, and the other one was running into an open goal. For me, Gisborne, you know, they've had one more scoring shot than South Bendigo, so they've got to get their act together up forward, and they can get back into this game, and we could have an excellent finish at the end of the day.
They're going to have an excellent finish in the A-grade netball. It's 47 apiece, and Gisborne have just turned it over off a centre pass. And the Bloods are going to go ahead late stages here thanks to Gabe Richards. So we'll bring you a final score on the A-grade netball after our halftime break. It's a game-high 29-point lead to the Bloods at halftime of the senior footy. 8 goals, 2 in that term, 10-4-64. They lead Gisborne 4-11-35. Plenty more to come here from Harry Trott Oval. We'll update you with all the scores around Central Victorian footy very shortly as well. We'll take a look through the Loddon Valley, the Heathcote League and MCDFNL, whatever results we've got to hand in the other games in Bendigo footy. It is Eagle Hawk by 25 over Kangaroo Flat, Castlemaine by 2 points over Golden Square, and Sandhurst by 8 goals over Strathfield Say. Much more to come. Half-time here at Harry Trott. It is the Bloods as good as 5 goals up on the Dogs. Live 25, local fresh footy.
He's driving through the heat and the pouring rain. It's the champ who can't be beat.
When it comes to reducing pain and rebuilding strength, Keyser leaves nothing to chance. Our university-qualified health professionals don't just treat problem areas. They design personalised training programs using Swiss-engineered machines unique to Keyser. These machines safely isolate the affected area, test your strength, and help rebuild your muscles for a stronger and healthier life. Keyser, physiotherapy, rehabilitation, and strength training. Building strength with precision.
It's time for the Bendigo Football Netball League Top 5 from Round 8. Number 1, Stephen Strubance from South Bendigo. A delicate snap. That is just all class. Have a look at that again. Oh, yes. Number 2, Will Allen from South Bendigo. A great pickup. Then the check side, bending that one in nicely. Good goal. Number 3, Jack O'Shaughnessy from Eagle Hawk. The juggler. then gets it and dribbles it home. A beautiful goal. Maybe a clown in another life. Look at that. Bang. Highlights are plenty from the boys from South Bendigo. This time Brock Harvey gets on the end of one. Lovely snap, guiding it home. Oh yeah, party time. Last but not least, Charlie Robinson from Sandhurst here. Good handball receive and a brilliant goal from a bit of distance. Just makes it over. A brilliant snag.
Central Kitchens design and build a custom kitchen, perfect for your needs, specifications and lifestyle. Locally owned and operated, all kitchens are manufactured right here in Bendigo. A high quality kitchen built by us. A quality lifestyle at home built by you. Visit centralkitchens.com.au and find your dream kitchen today.
Here's the picture. Picture Art Plus and Bendigo City Framers are now one massive business offering you even greater opportunities. Enjoy the same fantastic staff and service that brings your innovative designs to life. You can frame your memories or explore other stunning artwork. Plus there's wall art, framing options and convenient parking right at the door. Fresh sponsor located at 88 Garsed Street, Bendigo on the corner of Arthur Street. Got the picture?
Steve Barty Gas is your local supplier of household, LPG cylinders, forklift, industrial and hospitality gases. They refill or exchange barbecue and camping cylinders and have a range of lubricants and greases. Steve Barty is a local bloke and has serviced Castlemaine and surrounding districts for over 40 years. For great service and competitive prices, contact fresh sponsor Steve and the team on 5472 1262 or info@stevebartygas.com.au.
Why, hello there, neighbour. Feeling a bit wild, like your spirit animal is a grumpy wombat? Maybe you need to visit Rural and Outdoors. From lawnmowers to nutritious pet food, we've got what you need to keep the chaos of country life in check. Equipment need fixing. Our workshop wizards are here to work their magic.
Eureka!
And for all you treasure hunters, we've got the latest in metal detectors and prospecting equipment to help you strike it rich. So come on down to Rural and Outdoors for a breath of fresh air, where the only thing wilder than the wildlife is our range of gear. Rural and Outdoors, 21 Elizabeth Street, Castlemaine.
Fresh weekend weather sponsored by Rural and Outdoors, 21 Elizabeth Street, Castlemaine. Open 6 days a week every
A
week.
shower or two for Bendigo over the weekend with morning frosts. Overnight lows of 0 degrees with weekend tops of 13 and 15 degrees Sunday. Melbourne's weekend forecast. Mostly sunny, overnight lows of 6 and 5 and tops over the weekend of 12 with 14 degrees Sunday. Showers Monday for Bendigo. 5 minimum and a top of 18. Showers Tuesday, down to 7 overnight and a high of 14, and a shower or two Wednesday. 3 low with a top of 13 degrees.
Local First Bendigo's Fresh FM, the station where you choose our music from the 70s, 80s and 90s, and we keep you updated with local and national news. Local First, Bendigo's Fresh FM.
We are keeping it fresh. Your local station, Bendigo's Fresh, 101.5 FM.
It's half time and I hope you're enjoying today's live Bendigo football match. Footy Fresh Central Victoria's local station has for more than 35 years broadcasted local live footy. Please support the local businesses that you hear during this broadcast, as it's local businesses that support your community football. After local band Darkside's weekend song, we return with more live Bendigo football.
Heading down an open highway, those that seek and those that find, hidden fears fire back at me. Sand cold shivers racing down my spine. There ain't much that I remember. I sleep until late afternoon, waiting for the weekends to come round. Stuck in this dead end town, nameless heads and nameless
live Saturday afternoon local football. Only one station. Supporters know, coaches and players know, and you know, it's Bendigo's Fresh FM.
Third quarter sponsored by Ralki Flour Mills. Thanks to local footy sponsor, more live Bendigo football. And now it's time to fire up delicious Don Footy Franks. They're made for the footy. Is Don, is good.
Half-time at Harry Trott Oval in Kennington, and it is South Bendigo with an 8-goal blitz in that second term, who lead by a game-high 29 points, the fourth-place Bloods over the second-place Gisborne Bulldogs. It is South 10-4-64 to Gisborne 4-11-35 at half-time. Joel Peterson, Jackson Saunders and Norm Jenkin with you here on Live 25 Local Fresh Footy. We'll have some score updates very soon. Umpires back out there. The Bloods just about to get back out there. The Dogs not too far away. But Norm, one thing we have seen at half-time that we said we would update people on the other side of the break was the A-grade netball. A remarkable result in the end. So Gisborne, of course, have been one of the dominant teams in recent seasons, premiers last year, and South Bendigo have rolled them without a couple of their stars for Gisborne. The Bloods have got over the top. They were down by a couple of goals late in the piece, and they've got up 51-49 in what was a really great finish to that A-grade game of netball.
Yes, it was great to sit here in the commentary box and watch the end of that, Joel. It went backwards and forwards. There was a couple of late turnovers, and South Bendigo were able to hold on and gain a 2-point win, and that'll move them up above Eagle Hawk in the ladder as they have their third win of the year. And Gisborne, well, that'll be their fourth loss of the year. So Gisborne now on a 4-4 run, and South Bendigo on a 3-4 run with a draw.
It's just starting to open up for Kangaroo Flat and Sandhurst at the top of things in A-grade netball by the looks, but I just feel like when Gisborne get a full side back out there with the quality they've got, they'll still be mighty hard to beat at the pointy end of things. Earlier today, South Bendigo winners in the under-18s, still undefeated in the under-18s, or maybe 8-1.
They lost one. They lost one game, yes.
And then, of course, winning the reserves. So they won the under-18s by 27 points. They won the reserves by 16 points. Other games in Bendigo footy to half-time, and I'll prompt you to get some of your updates ready as well, Jacko, from around the grounds. Half-time at famous in Dowell Park, I should say, which is slightly less famous than Canterbury Park. Eagle Hawk 7-9-51 to Kangaroo Flat 3-8-26. Castlemaine 5-6-36 to Golden Square 4-5-29. Sandhurst 10-5-65 leads Strathfield, say 2-5-17. Those games will probably all run ahead of us today because we've had two 73-minute quarters. So we might be running a little bit behind time today. What do you got for me, Jacko?
In the North Central Footy League, Joel, it's round 9, half-time. Calder United 7-9-51 over Sea Lake Naindali Tigers 4-3-27. It's Birchip Watch and Bulls 9-11-65 over Donald 1-1-7. Charlton 2-2-14 Trail Bort 10-4-64. And Wedderburn 11-10-76 over St Arnaud 2-1-13 in the Loddon Valley Football League. Half-time, Bears Lagoon Serpentine 9 goals 8-56. Lead Inglewood 3-3-21. It's Calaval trailing by 26 points to Mitiamo at the major break, 7-7 to 3 goals 5. Both sides scored 2-3 in the second term. Morong 7 straight 42 over Pyramid Hill 3-2-20. In the Heathcote District Football League, it's Huntly at the major break, trailing Lockinton United 6-6-42. Huntley 2-12-30. So Huntley very erroneous kicking up forward, and Mount Pleasant led Heathcote by 13 points at the major break, 10-13-63 to Heathcote 7-8-50.
I'm liking the work of some South Bendigo supporters out there to have the music playing as we go toward half-time here as well. Normally you've got a score from the MCDFNL.
In the MCDFNL, Harcourt 7-5-47, lead Denali 6-2-38 at half-time. Once again, Denali have been very competitive against one of the top sides.
Absolutely. Goal kickers here, Brock Harvey, Steve Strubens, Anthony Zimmerman, Alex Smith all with 2. Brody Haddo, Caden Antonovich both with singles. Luke Miletus has got 2 for the Dogs, 1 to Luxmore, 1 to Benaki. Who have you liked for the Bloods, Jacko, to half-time?
I think Brock Harvey has been amongst the best. Anthony Zimmerman, Isaiah Miller, Josh Nitsky, Brody Haddo, Callum Crisp with the better players.
We'll get Norm's thoughts on Gisborne very shortly. They trail by 29 points, the Dogs, as we enter the second half. Live 25, local fresh footy. Here's Jackson Saunders.
Crisp knocked it down and Bradley Benaki went after it for the Dogs. He worked it to half forward. He had support. That came from Matthew Merritt. Now it's back with Benaki as he sends it toward the pocket, hoping for Pat McKenna. Ball goes over the boundary, though, and will need it tossed back in.
Who's impressed you for the Dogs, Norm?
Best for the Dogs, I thought that Blake continued on from his first quarter. Vescovi got into the game, as too did Benaki, and he started well in this third quarter. And also Gray and McKenna had a bit of the football.
Remarkably, Gisborne have had one more scoring shot, yet they trail by 29 points from the boundary throw-in. They need a goal here in attack. McKenna feeds the hand pass, spills to Shane Clough, snaps around his body. Brereton, though, was sure and steady and took a terrific defensive grab at fullback.
Now he needs the composure by foot to mark what he did with his hands. Chips it short to Haddo. Three-time best and fairest to the Bloods. Right foot kick down the line. Davis marks in front of the scoreboard. 10-4 to 4-11. 8 goals, 2 in that second term for South Bendigo. As Alex Davis drops it up the line. Cal Crisp the target. Floating in front of him was Zach Dennehy, taken away by Harvey Zimmerman. A little bit of a fumble there from Zach Sims, who wasn't quite up to speed with the other two in the chain. Clough takes it away for the Dogs. Handball to Merritt, cuts it through the middle of the ground. Should be a mark. He's paid a mark to John Stone in the end. Fallon was a little bit late to get a hand in there. So John Stone's looking inside the 50. He's got Miletus if he can get it there. McKenna's a bit deeper than that. And that's where the kick goes. McKenna rises, can't mark, off hands. Needed to be quick. There's Jaiza Rafa. He just got the handball away in the nick of time. That desperate South Bendigo defence might be a little bit sore there and hurt Harvey as he picks himself up off the deck. Still a chance for Gisborne across half forward. It's furious and fast stuff. It ends with Blake, the big fella from the top of the 50. Kicks it off the instep, out of bounds. Thrown back in deep in the left forward pocket for Gisborne.
I thought the kick was intended for me for a moment there, Joel. It was ill-directed, straight towards our commentary box rather than goalwards.
It was an absolute finger breaker, so I reckon you would have done pretty well to mark that one, Jacko.
Ball thrown back in. And there's no winner in that ruck contest. Zimmerman gets the hand pass to Fallon. Zimmerman, he's gutsy, surely caught high. Umpire didn't see it. He was caught high. But to the umpire's defence, there was a few players in front of him blocking the view of that contest.
I think he might have cocked Dylan Johnson in the eye among all that too, Jacko.
Ball thrown up, Chris, whistle blown. Interesting move, and it will be a free kick.
Yeah, shepherding in the ruck. Shepherding in the ruck.
Zach Dennehy, thanks for that, Norm. So as Norm alluded to, shepherding in the ruck. Zach Dennehy has not goaled today. This has certainly been the scoring end, given the dominance of South Bendigo in that second term. Kick now from Dennehy. 40 metres out. Tightish angle, he's missed to the near side and only a behind. 4-12-36, South Bendigo 10-4-64, and it may be inaccurate kicking that at the end of the day cost the Bulldogs.
Yes, we now have a change in Gisborne's planning. They've got Ryan Burke following Zimmerman wherever he goes.
Zimmerman had a real influence, especially in that second quarter. Fallon again waits for it to unfold. This time he kicks to the George Street side, trying to drop it in the bucket there for Davies, who was just pushed across the boundary line as he got his handball away. It'll be thrown back in between the wing and half forward. Dogs into attacking to the Neil Street end here at Harry Trott Oval in this third period. Joel Peterson, Jackson Saunders, Norm Jenkin calling the footy for you. Great to have your company. Live 25, local fresh footy. Tossed back in. Crisp tried to take it out in the ruck. McKenna's there. He's got a tackler draped all over him in Nitschke, and we'll have a ball up still across half forward here for the Bulldogs.
At least 20 around this contest. Great work by Benaki. Has support from Gray and also Merritt. Ball's wrapped up once more. We'll have a ball up 48 metres out from Gisborne's goal. They are headed to the Neil Street end in this third term. Ball thrown up, Crisp fists it down, kick Smothered brilliantly off the boot from Isaiah Miller. Gisborne across half forward. Ryan Burke leads the way. Zimmerman, he is inspirational as far as I'm concerned.
He got Benaki high.
He did that time, just a bit too eager on that occasion. So Benaki sends it deep, looking for Luxmore, kissed away by Davis, and the spoil was directed to Isaiah Miller for the Bloods.
Yeah, long kick outside the defensive 50. Davies comes up. Hands and knee stuff for Collins. Threw a boot at it. Spills away now. High kick from Hannon onto the chest of Zach Denner. He just couldn't mark. He got barreled over in the pack. And a clearing kick finds Crisp, who's been good again for the Bloods today. Inside the defensive 50. The lefty flares it across the back arc and finds Jesse Collins. Premiership player with Eagle Hawk. Low kick down the line's a beautiful option. Finds Davies, opens things up for the Bloods. He kicks to the top of the 50 now. South into attack. Struben's waiting for it out the back. 40 metres out. Haddo tried to backheel it. Smith kept it moving. Tackled Merritt, who got the handball away to Blake from a standing start. He kicks into the centre of the ground.
Looking for luck. Small ball knocked away from him. Zach Dennehy's hand pass was knocked away by Jesse Collins with the best beard on the ground. Support came from Alex Collins to Jesse Collins by hand to Luxmore. He got it initially off a teammate who goes now up towards half forward. Zarappa, long penetrating ball inside 50, hangs a long time in the air for the Bloods. It's about 45 minutes away from their goal, and Strubens was there. He helped to create the stoppage, and we'll have a ball up on the pane of 50 for South Bendigo, who are going to the cricket net's end in this term.
So up it goes. Bloods with 8 in that second term. Neither side has hit the scoreboard in a major sense as yet. And this foggy, gloomy day is getting ever darker. Long kick up toward half forward. Dennehy and Darling in the wrestle. McKenna picks it up in the right forward pocket. Tight against the boundary line. Low kick toward full forward. It rolls its way through and Johnston's on the end of it. Right at the top of the goal square. He was in the right place at the right time. And in an instant he got boot to ball and kicked the first of this second half. Gisborne move along to 5-12-42. South Bendigo 10-4-64. 22 points the spread. 7 minutes gone in the third quarter. Live 25 local footy. Score sponsor Parsons Towing.
That was better movement by Gisborne getting the ball into their forward line. They lowered their eyes. They got the ball to McKenna. He was helped out by Zach Dennehy, who put his body on the line. And a little dribble kick by McKenna through found its way to Johnson, who between two South Bendigo players was able to get boot to ball before he went to ground.
11 of the 15 goals have been nailed at the Neil Street end today. Blake knocked it down. Benaki with the clearance inside 50. Who can get there first? It's got there for the Bulldogs. Surely holding the ball. Darcy Young got it off, but the tackle was superb from Brock Harvey, who's kicked 2 goals as well. He goes to half back and finds Alex Davis. Assesses options for the Bloods, sends it to the outer wing. Here at Harry Trott Oval, gutsy effort going back with the flight of the ball, Shane Clough. Ball knocked down, goes to the deck, picked up again. Kick from Gray, inside 50. It lands in Luxmore's direction. He'll quickly snap towards goal. It's high. Will it bounce kindly? No, it won't. Through for a behind. 5-13 plays 10-4. We've gone 8 minutes in this third term. Score sponsor, Aussie Disposals, Live 25, local fresh footy.
Yes, Gisborne has started this third quarter well. They're putting the ball in to the favour of their forwards going forward, and it's only a matter of time before they start kicking goals.
Brereton brings it in, touched on the way through. So he tried to run it outside, and now it's picked up. The Dogs will get a crack on goal here. Kick toward Miletus, who shepherded it through only for a minor score. Johnston it was with the flying shot from right on the arc. Another behind. 5-14 plays 10-4. 19 scoring shots to 14. And it is South Bendigo who lead by 20 points. 9 gone, third term.
Jack Fallon, it's incredible. That was a delightful kicking. It went about 70 metres off the boot to Brock Harvey. I enjoyed watching that off the boot from Jack Fallon in the orange boots as Harvey goes to centre wing, and a good overhead catch has been taken by James Davies. He's eager to advance play for the Bloods and does, sends in up towards centre half forward. Pack develops. No one can get hands to it. Ball hits the deck. Who can get there first? Ball comes now to Strubens, who snaps and misses. It scraped the right goalpost and only a behind. 10-5-65. South Bendigo, Gisborne 5-14-44.
Dogs waste no time bringing it in. Long kick to half back. Is it juggled the mark? It is. Benaki pulls it in. And the best every week for the Dogs so far this season, even when he did get tagged by Joel Swatton back in round 2. Standing start. He dumps his kick down the line. Hares in front. Can't take it. Got one across the shoulder. Free kick to the South Bendigo captain, who was as sick as a dog last week, according to a lot of the Bloods. And he's back this week in their team. Brereton goes inside forward 50 for the Bloods. Fresh area in defence. It gives Antonovic a chance, and that is something you can't do with that man. The fresh area inside defensive 50. Caden Antonovic picks it up, runs to the pocket, dribbles it through for his second. And South Bendigo answer back here in this third term. 11-5-71, plays 5-14-44. We're 11 minutes gone in this third quarter. Score sponsor, Jason Westcott Builder, Live 25, local fresh footy.
Yeah, right throughout the day. Whenever South Bendigo's needed an answer, they've been able to get it. And once again, Gisborne were pressing and getting close, but South Bendigo have snuffed that out.
His 24th goal of the season, and perhaps the best of season 2025 too. That was a cracker. In the middle, Campbell Jones gets the clearance. He has support over the top from Gray. Inside 50, the Bulldogs. Great effort defensively from Luke Darling, who read the play like a book across half back, chips it to the back edge of the centre square. And it could be 50 the way of Alexander Smith. Umpire said no by hand to Jesse Collins to half forward with a kick. It comes to the man with the number 22 jersey, James Davies. His kick smothered, ball ricochets off to Collins. Flying shot at goal from Will McCaig. He's good. And McCaig has another for the Bloods. Live 25, local fresh footy. That's their second in a couple of minutes, Norm Jenkin, on Live 25 local fresh footy.
Yes, as I said, South have been able to answer when Gisborne have put the pressure on them, and once again they've done it with 2 goals in a couple of minutes, and Will McCaig becomes the 7th goal scorer for the day. They're even across the board, and it's their smaller players that have been hitting the scoreboard today.
33 points is that margin. Now a game high, 12-5, plays 5-14. We have 14 minutes gone in this third term on Live 25 local fresh footy. At the stoppage, Merritt for the Dogs. Tries to get them moving forward. Pear standing imperiously with his arms outstretched above his head. Takes a telling mark. Moves it on immediately to Haddo. Haddo kicks to the edge of the 50. Strubens rises. Can't take it with him. Harvey got caught. Didn't hear the footsteps holding the ball. Clough wanted to go for the afters as well. He was almost in on goal, Brock Harvey, to try and curl his third home. And Shane Clough was there in the right nick of time. He chips it short to Gray. And now the Dogs trailing by 5.5 goals, Jacko. We'll see what they can build back the other way.
It's extraordinary. Gray's kick, searching for Miletus. He's kicked a couple today. Ball fisted away from him. Picked up by Jack Fallon. Opts to have a couple of bounces from half back to centre wing to half forward. Oh, amazing kick. And a great mark by Alexander Smith, 35 metres out, and the expression of Joel Peterson there said it all in terms of how scintillating, Norm, and how beautiful that passage of play was.
Well, look, when South put it together, their distributing into the forward 50 days been excellent, and Smith, he's been alive-wise since halfway through that second quarter, lining up for a chance of his third goal.
And I love the fact that Jack Fallon's come off the ground for an interchange, so he's just wandered past Alex Smith, and I wonder whether he just said, you better finish this off, mate.
For his third, potentially, of this contest, Alexander Smith, it starts to the left and is just behind. 12-6-78 are the Bloods. Gisborne 5-14-44. Score sponsor, Bendigo City Framers, Live 25 local fresh footy.
I've noticed with a couple of Smith's shots at goal today that he hasn't kicked through the football when he's been a fair way out. He's stabbed at it.
Fair to say the motion wasn't as fluid as that of his co-coach who delivered the footy to him. Here's Luxmore on the wing. Dogs have worked it in intelligently. Harry Luxmore, former leading goal kicker in the under-18 competition. Premiership player for the Dogs in that grade. Went short. He was looking for a teammate in Hannon, and Zach Hare was across to belt it out of play. And it'll be tossed back in. George Street side here at Harry Trott Oval. 12-6-78 plays 5-14-44. 15 minutes gone in this third quarter. Live 25 local fresh footy. Joel Peterson and Jackson Saunders calling it for you. MCDFNL legend Norm Jenkin in expert comments this afternoon. In other games, Eagle Hawk by 38 over Kangaroo Flat. Castlemaine Golden Square's the close one. 7 points in that, the way of the Magpies. Strathfield say doing it easily over Sandhurst. Should say the other way around. Long kick inside forward 50 for the Dogs out of the stoppage. And Pat McKenna's latched onto it with a really strong contested mark. Nitschke's done a good job on him today. McKenna with 3 behinds to his name will have a set shot of 40 metres with very little angle. The Bloods with back-to-back goals. And the Premiership captain of Gisborne trying to nab one back. He loves it off the boot. Great set shot from Pat McKenna. No trouble with that at all. Goal number 25 of the campaign for him. And he moves, gives him along to 6-14-50. South Bendigo 12-6-78. We've played 17 minutes in this third quarter. Score sponsor, Bendigo City Framers, Live 25, local fresh footy.
Yes, that was an excellent passage of play from Gisborne. They took the ball from a kick in. They brought it around the wing. It was forced out of bounds. They then got control of it again. And a lovely kick in. That's what they haven't done today. They haven't put the ball out in front of McKenna to run onto it.
How have you seen the match-up between he and Nitschke, Norm?
Oh, I think Nitschke's won the so far today, but another couple of goals from McKenna in this quarter and it could all change.
Zach Dennehy increasing the ruck, ball to ground level. Dennehy follows up. Kick from Gray, partially smothered, ricochets out to centre wing. Isaiah Miller there, but he's given away the free kick. And Gisborne have it. So it's with Hannon, who helps to get it inside 50. Blake has floated forward, 2 against him. Ball fisted away. The Bloods do well. Jack Fallon leads the way. Finds the skipper, Zach Hare. An audacious kick, but it was precise. He found Jesse Collins, who had 2 dogs surrounding him. Hand pass over the top to Thomas Brereton. They take the game on. Brereton gets himself into a bit of trouble, but he weaves himself out of the traffic. Kicks it to half forward. High ball, off hands, 40 metres out from goal. It's across half forward for the Bloods. Whistle picked out. Free kick going the way of Gisborne. And it's Dylan Johnston across half back. And they'll look to work it out of the danger zone here, Gisborne.
So here come the Dogs. Kick up towards Zach Dennehy. Good mark.
He's come into the game in this quarter.
Yep, standing in front of Zach Hare. Pulls it in on the wing. Thought about playing on by hand. Now he's called to. So he pops it over the top to Merritt, who has to backtrack back to Dennehy. Handball on the bounce. Now he carves the kick in field to his brother. And young Jed's got it. He wants to go across the centre of the ground. Werner trying to open things up now, the Dogs. Handball back to Manders from where the chain started. He kicks up toward half forward through the hands of Young. Coming up to meet it there, Miletus couldn't take it with him. Dogs still with a chance across half forward. Murphy slides toward the boundary line. He can't keep it in either. And we'll have it thrown back in. 50 out from the Dogs' goal. They kick to the Neil Street end here in this third term. Skies are darkening here at Harry Trott Oval, and it's all bright for South Bendigo. They lead by 28 points. We are 18 and a half minutes into the third.
Hope you're enjoying the coverage on this Saturday afternoon. 440 flying shot of goal came from Dylan Johnston, but he's missed it to the right-hand side, and just another behind is added. So opportunities gone begging one after the other for the Bulldogs. 6-15-51. It's South Bendigo 12-6-78 that still lead by 27 points. Score sponsor Parsons Towing.
Someone's dragged Marcel Marceau into the commentary box. Sandhurst by 58 points over Strathfield, say. Only 1 point in it between Golden Square and Castlemaine now, 49-48. Eagle Hawk 66 lead Kangaroo Flat 28. The other games in Bendigo footy. Long kick in from fullbacks. That's a great mark from Brereton. A man of his size, he does not lack intent, and intensity does Tom Brereton. Kick into the centre of the ground. Rusbridge gets grabbed immediately by Clough. And we'll have a stoppage just inside the Dogs' attacking half. They need to get a move on. They need to do it pretty swiftly here to the grand finalists of last season. South Bendigo took control of the game in that second term. It's a 27-point edge they have at the moment as we tick toward time on. We'll toss it up in the centre of the ground once more. Crisp and Blake's been a fascinating duel throughout. Blake this time tried to ride the bump of Collins, caught with the footy, threw it away. Free kick to Collins from the centre for South,
who quickly sends it to half forward. High pack develops. Jed Dennehy knocks it down. The Bloods, though, get first use again. They work it in the direction of Isaiah Miller, who's being opposed by Gisborne's Zarappa. Zarappa wins the battle initially, but then fumbles. He follows up again to Zarappa and fumbles once more. It's a real comedy of errors at the moment. Ball comes back to the Bloods. Will McKay, he loses control of the footy and will have a ball up on the outer side. And Johnny's dancing there in the background. Certainly rivals that of Michael Jackson and is better than the one dance move I could demonstrate. Only problem is we're on the radio, Joel.
Yeah, it was all highly questionable, Jacko. I think we best get back to the football. He's Geddes for South. He runs into the tackle of Clough and will have a ball up. And he's working hard in this third term. As always is Shane Clough. Reaching up is Crisp over the top of Blake. No decisive hit. Zimmerman is grabbed. Another ball up.
A Bruin game in the Heathcote District Footy League. Huntley 6-15-51 by 5 points over LBU 6-10-46.
Kicking their way back into that one. The Huntley Hawks, after they tried to kick themselves out of it. Were they 2-10 or something early, Jacko?
2-12 Hawks at half time.
That's almost impressive. Crisp kicks inside forward 50 after winning the free kick of the stoppage. Strubens gives it up. Collins on the end of it for the Bloods. Touched on the way through, but it's taken by McCaig, who kicks an open goal for South Bendigo. And they continue to deliver answers when asked questions by this Dogs team. That is 2 for Will McCaig in this term. And South Bendigo have got 13 on the board. 13-6-84. Gisborne a 6-15-51, back to that 33-point margin. And we have played 21 minutes in the third quarter. Live 25, local fresh footy. Score sponsor, Aussie Disposals.
Yes, Gisborne have had one win at the start of for this quarter, and that has been the work of Ryan Burke on Zimmerman. Zimmerman's hardly touched it, but it's other small players like McCaig that have come into the game and with 2 goals has been very valuable.
Some music was played with that goal too to celebrate an interesting dynamic here at Harry Trott Oval.
The ute over there underneath the tree, you can see the South Bendigo supporters on, Jacko. They've been blasting the tunes all afternoon.
It's an impressive sight. Their vantage point rather elevated. That's for sure.
Country footy grand final setup when you roll the ute in, you park it there 2 days out.
Yes, I've experienced that before. Ball to be thrown up. Braden Blake knocks it down. Benaki was dispossessed. Ball spills to half forward. Shane Clough had 26 touches last week. No clean disposal then though. And I fancy the field umpire will need to say, give it to me. And so we'll have another ball up about 55 metres out from the Bulldogs' goal. Neil Street End, they're attacking.
South looking like a good thing to win this game at this stage. They've had the answers so far in the ball game. Blake across half forward for the Dogs. Around the body, it'll get to McKenna on the bounce. In the right forward pocket, he traps it. Handball back to Benaki. Bumped off his kick, only as far as Haddo. By hand to Nitschke, and they walk it out of defence, the Bloods. Crisp is all alone. Got a hand to it as he was backpedaling. Couldn't pull it in. And they've got really good representation at ground level at the moment to South Bendigo. McKay got it off to Davis. Kick up the line. Back into dispute. Merritt now for the Dogs. He can get it off by hand to Werner. And now to Johns. Johns kicks inside the 50. Lovely delivery. And Darcy Young's on the end of it for Gisborne. 35 out. Slight angle right of centre. He can try and kick their 7th.
3/4 time score in the Heathcote District Footy League. Mount Pleasant 15-6-96. Lead Heathcote 11-9-75. And in the Loddon Valley Football League, Mitiamo 8-9-57 to Calible 6-9-45. So 2-goal lead to the Superoos.
It's a big kick here for Darcy Young. Kicked one last week. If there to be any chance, Gisborne probably need to see this go through. Right foot strike is pushing away to the left. Minor score, 24.5 minute mark. 13-6-84, plays 6-16-52. 32 points is the South Bendigo lead. Score sponsor is Don Is Good, Live 25 local fresh footy.
Yes, it's been excellent pressure in defence from South Bendigo that's put Gisborne off their game.
Fallon brings the ball back into play and finds Haddo. Back to Fallon, off the left boot to the George Street side wing, and the mark has been taken by Rusbridge. Has Zimmerman, who takes the game on. He's going to be run down from behind. Just got the hand pass away at the last moment. Tamila directs the kick to the pocket. A bit of a pokey ball, hoping for Strubens. Ball goes out of bounds with the spoil, and so it's 25 out from the Bloods' goal.
I thought you were talking about that cartoon that used to be on when we were kids, Jacko, with the pokeball there.
Well, you'll have to enlighten me. I wasn't a cartoons fan.
So you're just not across Pokemon at all?
Yes, I am, but
There you
I
go.
was never mesmerised by it at all. Couldn't think of anything more boring. In fact, I'd rather be out in the backyard or the paddock with my 4 sticks that I'd painted as goalposts until late at night.
Ball to be tossed. Don't know where to go with that. Ball to be tossed back in. I didn't know where we were going with sticks that had been painted. Anyway, here's Isaiah Miller.
And I'd commentate to myself as well.
Sure you would. Here he kicks inside the forward 50. There would have been some audacious kicks in that backyard. Strubens takes it off the pack. Speaking of, right on cue. Steve Strubens has got 3, and that's just about the ball game. South Bendigo out by 38. 14-6-90 to 6-16-52. That's a text mark Strubens goal for his 3rd. We are deep into this third term. 27 minutes played. Live 25 local fresh footy. Score sponsor Jason Westcott Builder.
Yes, a lot of South supporters would be sitting around the ground today saying, where was this last week when we got in front of Strathfield State? Been an excellent return to form this week by South Bendigo after last week's loss, and they've deserved their win. They've put the pressure on. They've made Gisborne very jittery around the ground, and they've been able to make the most of their forward 50 entries.
For the record, Joel, I didn't know what the word audacious meant as a kid. Back in the centre, it'll be Callum Crisp in the ruck against Braden Blake. I think it's Crisp that's won that battle today. 2 of the best ruckmen in Bendigo footy, and Crisp again taps it down, and he does his own roving too, but he's tackled. It's Shane Clough who then gets the footy for Gisborne, and he's tackled as he goes to ground. So he'll take the free kick for the Bulldogs, goes wide. He wants Gray, who receives in front of the interchange gates, in front of the club rooms, which look spectacular, I must say. Also home of the Bendigo United Cricket Club.
Oh, yes. Now
Kick
you're
to Matthew
talking,
Merritt,
Jacko.
the Bucks, with all their trophies. A very successful club in the Bendigo District Cricket Association.
To which I contributed approximately 0.
Merritt goes very short to Zach Dennehy. Does that mean you had a duck?
I don't even think they'd let me bat.
Dennehy by hand, and now the kick inside 50 will fall short off hands, fisted by Callum Crisp and out of bounds. I remember once in under 13s cricket, I went for a shot and I missed the ball and the cricket bat went to square leg.
It's a bit of Happy Gilmore stuff. The club went further than the ball. Brought back in. Here's Haddo. Comes in from the right back pocket. Kick looking for Rusbridge. Campbell Johns is on for a bit of a scrap. So too is Evans there for the Dogs.
Rather embarrassing, really, but I did make 14 that day.
As long as you made a few, Jacko, that's all that matters. Ball will be tossed back in on the outer side. Dylan Johnston's up for the scrap with Alex Smith. So maybe taking a little bit of frustration out at this stage are the Bulldogs. It's been a tough afternoon for them, but it's been maybe South Bendigo's best performance of the season to rival that of round 2. Blake with the clearing kick inside forward 50, holding on. And that one's going to go against South Bendigo, against Pat McKenna, I should say, to Nitschke of South Bendigo. It's been an inspired match-up this afternoon to put the 4-time Kerrang Premiership player onto McKenna. It's worked very, very well indeed. Brereton now for the Bloods. Smacks it straight up the pipe. Vescovi with 2 hands. He fists it back the other way. Dogs in control of the footy. Johnston kicks inside the 50. McKenna another chance. Through his hands. Can't take the mark. Well done from Young. Got it to Dennehy. Might get it back. Jed Dennehy once, twice. Goes around and finally kicks the open goal. Gee, you made hard work of that. as have the Dogs today in front of the big sticks. That's 7:17:59 now to 14:690. Jed Dennehy's first goal of the day. Closing in on three-quarter time. Score sponsor Isdon is good. Live 25, local fresh footy.
Yeah, more of that from Gisborne to end this quarter. And then in the last quarter, you never know. 5 goals is not a lot in modern-day football in this day and age. But to South Bendigo's credit, every time Gisborne have been able to kick a goal or two, they've been able to answer it with 2 or 3.
The thoughts of Norm Jenkin alongside Joel Peterson, myself, Father Jackson, Johnny Hunter and Glenn Gordon back in the studio this afternoon.
Just say I was on the front page of the Addy today, Jacko.
No,
Everyone will
I
know
won't
who
go
you
that
are.
far. No, that's not true. And I was...
What was on the front
online,
page?
but
What bumped you?
It was... I can't remember now, actually.
Can't have been much good.
Anyway, I must have thought it was a slow news day.
Some
I got
stupid
in,
thing the
Joel.
council's done or something.
Out of the middle, Fallon goes up toward centre wing, and the mark has been taken again by the Bloods. It was that man in Zach Sims who got it, goes to half forward, finds Brody Haddo, kicks toward the pocket, off hands, and out of bounds. We'll need to have another boundary thrown. 14 goals, 6 plays, 7-17. It's remarkable to think that the Dogs have had 24 scoring shots, South Bendigo 20, so 4 less scoring shots rather to the Bloods, yet they still lead by 21 points.
Yeah, 5 goals and change for the Bloods is their advantage. They were pretty confident, a lot of the South Bendigo supporters today. They'd put in a better performance than last week, and gee, haven't they been rewarded with something to savour. Kick outside the defensive 50, up toward Darling, who sees it out of play. It'll be tossed back in, centre of the George Street wing, Jacko.
Something that Morong will be savouring, Joel, is a 41-point lead to Pyramid Hill at three-quarter time.
Yep, so it looks like Morong will just waltz their way to another victory over Pyramid Hill in the Loddon Valley League. See if they can find a challenger this season. Around the body, gee, the kick from Brooks and a terrific mark down low from Zach Sims with courage, handed it off to Haddo. Haddo kicks the Bloods inside the forward 50. Vescovi overran it. Strubens into the open goal. He's got 4. And he's got the arms out celebrating as he rolls into the goal again. And the tunes light up here at Harry Trott Oval. 15-6-96 to 7-17-59. 4 goals for Stephen Strubens. Live 25, local fresh footy. Score sponsor Bendigo City Framers. We are again past half an hour and a quarter.
Yes, and the work of Ryan Burke on Strubens in the first half has all been lost this quarter with him moving on to Zimmerman. So you win on one and you lose on the other, and South Bendigo, to their credit, they've had all the answers today. And the thing that I like about it is they're prepared to back themselves. They're prepared to handball and run. If they get into trouble, they have another go at it. They don't stop, go back, and go back into their shell. They keep going and keep attacking.
It's a 37-point lead to South Bendigo, under-calculated before, yet there are some leaves in front of the scoreboard to my defence. Back in the centre, it'll be taken out of the centre by Darcy Young, up to McKenna. He'll snap it around his body, open goal square. It's a behind as the three-quarter time siren blasts. And, well, a huge challenge coming up for Gisborne in the last term, but they can possibly come back. Gisborne 7-18-60 trailing South Bendigo 15-6-96, a 6-goal lead to the Bloods at the last change.
Jacko, you're a man of faith. I think the most strident faith of the Gisborne supporters would be being tested right about now. 6 goals down with a quarter to go. 4 for Stephen Strubens to lead the way for South Bendigo. And since quarter time, it is 13 goals to 5 in the ball game. South have opened up a decisive advantage. It'll take something very special from the Dogs. What have they got here in this last quarter? The reigning grand finalists. South 96, Gisborne 60. Final quarter is on the way. Live 25, local fresh footy.
It's driving through the heat and the pouring rain. It's the champ who can't be.
When it comes to reducing pain and rebuilding strength, Kaiser leaves nothing to chance. Our university-qualified health professionals don't just treat problem areas, They design personalised training programs using Swiss-engineered machines unique to Kieser. These machines safely isolate the affected area, test your strength, and help rebuild your muscles for a stronger and healthier life. Kieser, physiotherapy, rehabilitation, and strength training. Building strength with precision.
It's time for the Bendigo Football Netball League Top 5 from Round 8. Number 1, Stephen Strabance from South Bendigo. A delicate snap. That is just all class. Have a look at that again. Oh, yes. Number 2, Will Allen from South Bendigo. A great pickup. Then the check side, bending that one in nicely. Good goal. Number 3, Jack O'Shaughnessy from Eaglehawk, the juggler. Then gets it and dribbles it home. A beautiful goal. Maybe a clown in another life. Look at that. Bang. Highlights are plenty from the boys from South Bendigo. This time Brock Harvey gets on the end of one. Lovely snap, guiding it home. Oh yeah, party time. Last but not least, Charlie Robinson from Sandhurst here. Good handball receive and a brilliant goal from a bit of distance. Just makes it over. A brilliant snag.
Breakdowns. Parsons Towing can handle anything from cars, trucks, buses, machinery, containers, even motorcycles. Parsons Towing is a family-owned business that understands the importance of prompt, professional service. Parsons Towing has now joined the team at Bellevue Panels in Bendigo, covering a larger area. To get you back on track anytime, anywhere. parsonsmotorbody.com.au.
Fresh sponsor.
Humanizer Mitre 10 stock what you need to get the job done. And now they have a massive pet department with a great range of fresh and dry pet food, treats, toys, leads, collars, beds and accessories. They also have a newly installed double do-it-yourself dog wash. Located in the Northern Car Park, the dog wash is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Only $10 for 12 minutes. It includes shampoo, flea control, a conditioning rinse and blow dry. That's awesome. Humanizer Mitre 10, 35 Charleston Place, Bendigo.
Local first fresh sponsor Jason Westcott Builder, where your dreams become a reality. Whether it's crafting bespoke 5-bedroom homes or breathing new life into cherished spaces with renovations and extensions, they're there for you every step of the way. With a dedicated team and a commitment to exceeding your expectations, Jason Westcott Builder is your partner in creating the home you've always envisioned. Visit them online with their galleries and begin your journey at Jason Westcott Builder.
Fire up for the footy with Don Footy Franks. Whether you're with family, friends or the matchday crew, nothing beats cheering on your team with a delicious Don Footy Frank in hand. Go straight down the middle with sauce and mustard or work it out wide with a bit of cheese and onion. Whatever your play, fresh and local sponsored Don Footy Franks are made for footy.
Is Don is good.
Live Saturday afternoon local football. Only one station. Supporters know, coaches and players know, and you know. It's Bendigo's Fresh FM.
Final quarter, sponsored by Lauki Flour Mills. Thanks to local footy sponsor, more live Bendigo football. And now it's time to fire up delicious Don Footy Franks. They're made for the footy. Is Don, is good.
It's all South Bendigo with the quarter to go. 36 points is the Bloods' lead in round 9 of Bendigo footy. 15-6-96 to 7-18-60. Joel Peterson, Norm Jenkins, Jackson Saunders with you, calling the footy. Live 25, local fresh footy. About to get this final term underway. Skies darkening here at Harry Trelova. We may need the lights on any tick of the clock. Blake gets us moving out of the middle in this final term. Got it off to Johnston. Kicks the Dogs forward. McKenna had a go at it. Handballed it up to Zach Dennehy. Around the body, he was looking for Miletus. Can't trap it. goes out for a throw in. Another 5 goals to South in that third quarter, so they've kicked 13 since quarter time. As Norm mentioned earlier, 7 goal kickers for the Bloods. 6 of them have kicked multiples, none of them more than 4 for Strubens. He's got 4, Harvey 2, Zimmerman 2, Smith 2, McCaig 2, Antonovich 2, and Brody Haddo has the single. The only multiple goal scorer is Miletus for Gisborne. He's got 2 goals so far in the game as Hare works it outside the defensive 50 or almost. Picked up by Zimmerman for the Bloods. He kicks down the line and he finds Alex Smith on the wing.
He does. He wants Antonovich or Strubens. Goes past both of them and is stolen by Zachary Vescovi, who goes to half back. And they've worked it a bit further up the ground to Matthew Merritt, who's tackled. Crowd says ball. Zimmerman gets the ball. He sends it deep. He wants to have a crack at it himself, but he's put it out of bounds on the full. And no score added. Penalty free kick to be taken from the back pocket by Gisborne's Thomas Werner.
Your better players for the Bloods, Jacko to 3/4 time.
Strubens, Harvey, Zimmerman, Smith, Nitsky and Callum Crisp.
Geez, almost going in numerical order there. Isaiah Miller's marked the kick here. Kicks back to full forward. Strubens has got 4. That one's off his hands and through for a minor score. It makes the margin 37. Your better players for the Dogs, Normie?
Benaki, Blake, Johnstone come into it that quarter. Burke for his job on Zimmerman, and McKenna and Burke's now been put back on Strubens for this last quarter.
Burke to Merritt. Burke has a bit of a fumble back to Merritt. So 1-2, 1-2 times 2 as they get it out of the danger zone. Up to centre wing, and Pat McKenna has taken the grab. One of the best players for the Bulldogs. Kick was like a bullet to Shane Clough. Too fast, in fact, that he couldn't take the grab. It slipped through his hands and went into dispute. And we'll have a ball up on the front edge of the centre square for Gisborne, who are going to the Kennington end in this last term of footy. Ball's thrown up. Jesse Collins attacks it. Can't get used to the footy though. Instead, Blake does. Loops the hand pass to Johnstone off his non-preferred right boot. Deep inside 50. Murphy, McKenna comes now. Kick will come around the body from Clough. It bounces. It's goalward. Is it touched? Umpire says no. Goal to Shane Clough. That's his first of the afternoon. And Gisborne, they do need to get a wriggle on if they're to be any chance, Norm, in this last term.
Yes, that's a good start for Gisborne. They kept the pressure on. They moved the ball well up the club room side, flanked that in that forward 50 entry and put it out in front of their teammates. They ran onto it, and in the end, they made the most of it. 3/4 time MCDFNL. Harcourt 9-6-60, Denali 6-4-40. And Carisbrook 9-4-58, Navarre 5-7-37.
We'll keep you close to all the action that's happening around Central Victorian footy. Of course, our sponsors award, Bendigo City Framers voucher to hand out post-game for our best player as well. Plenty of Bloods in contention for that. Here's Swatton, who hasn't seen much of the footy today, but neither's Brad Benaki. Kicks to the pocket, and Antonovich takes a contested mark. That's his bread and butter. And now for the finishing touches for Kados, who's got a 10 in from the boundary. Only 25 metres from home in the right forward pocket.
It'll test him from there. Caden Antonovich, 24 goals for the season.
Good finisher. Of course, Jack O'Shaughnessy leads the Mickelson medal race. Pat McKenna was a couple behind him. And Antonovich, after missing last week, a couple further adrift. That is a terrific set shot. Does not get much better than that from a small forward. The contested mark. And a beautiful finish. And Caden Antonovich has got 3. And South Bendigo's lead grows, and now their score pushes up beyond 100 points. 16-7, 103 to 18-66, 37 points the margin. Early stages final term, Live 25 local fresh footy. Score sponsor, Bendigo City Framers.
Yes, and once again, South Bendigo were able to answer a Gisborne goal. They are not letting Gisborne kick any more than 1 goal at a time.
Matthew Merritt in the ruck and Braden Blake there too. It's knocked down by Blake. Collins gets it at ground level, goes to half forward. Brody Haddo, he'll send it inside 50. Strubens the intended target. Great defensive work though, taken by Vescovi. I can't help but think his name is the Italian plural of bishops. As his kick, Vescovi goes to the back pocket for Manders. He goes to full back, and now he goes to Jacob Murphy. George Street side as he works it up the ground. Darcy Young, his tackling today has been superb. By hand to Matthew Merrick, back by hand to Lucas Hannon. The debutant last week, kicked to half forward, and it's 2 kicks out from goal. They'll send it up to centre half forward, and that's a good lead and a strong presentation. And the mark has been taken by Jed Dennehy. He's kicked 1 goal today, and this will test him. He'll have to kick from almost 50 metres out to the cricket net's end in this last term.
Yes, once again, a good build-up by Gisborne then. By hand and foot, they found teammates in space and they were able to move it quick.
It's been a goal apiece so far in this last term. Listen to the effects, Mike. The distractions, A+ as far as I'm concerned. And they did well because the kick off the boot reflected the distractions that were presented to him off hands and through for a rush behind. 8-19-67, the Dogs. South Bendigo 16-7, 103. Score sponsor, Don Smallgoods. Is good.
Certainly a bit more effective than whatever you suggested Alex Smith did earlier in the game, which sounded like a pigeon flying into a tree or something.
Yes, I recall that moment, but I mightn't replicate it.
Yeah, probably a good shout. Fallon whacks it up the centre. He goes straight up the pipe, and it spills into South Bendigo hands. Collins, handball turned over. Clough has kept on working and kept those legs moving. Now through Zach Dennehy, and Johnston kicks inside forward 50. McKenna sprawls after it. He can't take the mark, and it's scooped up by Fallon, who ever so calmly distributes it out to Miller. And now to Haddo at halfback. 2 of their prime movers, South Bendigo. Miller's kick was smothered. Great defensive work. That was Young, who, as Jacko said, his pressure's been exemplary today. Kicks inside forward 50, and he drops it into the lap of a teammate. Moving it on, Miletus, his centering kick is a shocker. And he's turned it over straight to Darling of South Bendigo at fullback.
Darling to halfback, and he's got the next link in the chain for South Bendigo. Getting very dark here.
Yeah,
Collins.
I don't know where the light switch is, Jacko, but someone better find it quickly.
Goes to Rusbridge, centre wing in front of the Gisborne dugout. Rob Waters won't be delighted with the Dogs' performance this afternoon. Rusbridge hoists the kick high, and that's a gutsy mark going back for Scobie. That was brave. It was almost gymnastics kind of tumble as he collected the pill and went to ground and recalculated proceedings for Gisborne to half back to Vescovi, and now it's with Bradley Benaki.
Yep, got 4 marks for the degree of difficulty and the landing from the judges here in our broadcast position. Benaki to Werner, the Sunbury product, kick to the back edge of the centre square. Evans, one of the youngsters for the Dogs in the long sleeves, sends it out wide to Hannon. In fact, it's Luxmore. He wants to poke it on, so methodical stuff by foot now from the Dogs to Manders. The game all but dead and buried. 36 points the margin. South Bendigo broke it open with an 8-2 second term, and they've held sway ever since. They come back across the defensive 50 now, almost reverse horseshoe style, to borrow a phrase. Manders is on the end of it this time, and he chips it short. Finds a teammate in Zarafa, who wanted Manders again as he continued to run on. Miller got in there to break it up and force it out for a throw in between the wing and half forward. Gisborne in their attacking half.
The close game in the Bendigo Footy League at the moment is Golden Square 8-14-62 over Castlemaine 7-8-50. And Sandhurst lead by 64 points against Strathfield Say at the Curio. It's Eagle Hawk by 54 points against Kangaroo Flat 2. Meantime, balls brought back into play. Gisborne have it across half forward. There's lots of numbers. South Bendigo have worked it to the outer side. Neither side's got clean possession, if you're wondering. It's Davis, though, who creatively taps it towards Zimmerman, who gets it to half forward. And it's taken by James Davies, who sends it short to Rusbridge across half forward. He hits pause. He goes to Zimmerman. He's my favourite player today. Flying shot at goal. I gave him the build-up, but he missed to the right-hand side and only a behind. 16 goals, 104 to Gisborne, 8-19-67. Score sponsor, Jason Westcott, builder Live 25, local fresh footy.
Scovey brings it back in. Just on that Golden Square game, so they trailed 16-0 early in that first quarter, and since then they have outscored Castlemaine 63-34.
Great effort.
So it's been a really good fight back from Brad Eaton's young dogs, and to be frank, another disappointing performance from Castlemaine, which they've turned in far too many of so far this season. Evans to Merritt. Dogs again going into possession mode as they try to build the footy up the ground with some patience and some purpose. Now Jed Dennehy, handball through the centre. Luxmore dragged down by Collins. He is caught right in the centre of Harry Trott Oval on this wintry Saturday. The solstice, of course, the shortest day of the year, daylight-wise. And Gisborne will be hoping it comes to a close very soon. They trail by 37.
And they'll head back down the Calder Highway to Gisborne. The ball spills to Vescovi, eludes two would-be tacklers in defence. To half-back, to space. Haddo had an unkind bounce. Gisborne a chance once more. Gray across half-back, clears. Effective foot pass to half-back to another in the long sleeves. In Matthew Merritt. Many players donning those long sleeves today. Merritt's kick was intended for McKenna. It went back to Merritt, who got it off the ricochet. He'll go out wide to centre wing, and Jai Zarappa has it for the Dogs.
Yep, and he's going to try and spot up that matchup again. This time it's Benaki. Handball over the top. McKenna's there. Hasn't had too many chances today. And he finds Miletus, who rolls into an open goal and kicks his third. So somewhat of a consolation prize for the Dogs. 9-19-73 to 16-8-104. That margin back to 31. And we have played 15 minutes here, or near there on, in this final term. Score sponsor, Aussie Disposals, Live 25, local fresh footy.
Yes, we needed to see more of that possession football that Gisborne have just used to get the ball from a point down this end of the ground up through the goals up the other end. In the second quarter, when they were being pressured, they weren't able to do that. And if they had been, they may have been right in this game.
Dennehy was beaten by Crisp in the ruck, who can get the footy at ground level. No one can initially. So a ball up is the result.
Only 12 minutes so far, Jacko. I went a little bit early there with my 15.
16 goals, 8. South Bendigo to Gisborne 9-19. We'll forgive you, Joel. In the centre. Slung around the tackle is Zach Sims. And play on, says the umpire. Gisborne take the advantage to centre wing. On the George Street side, Gray has support from Matthew Merritt, who goes by hand to Luxmore. Kick towards the pocket, fist away from Bradley Benaki. And the South faithful celebrate, as you can hear through the effects mic. There's about 20 of them on what's a camper van type setup, which is erected about 3 metres high above a four-wheel drive.
And they're the blokes that have been pumping the music all day, Jacko. So they've been keeping everyone entertained around Harry Trott Oval. Haddo at the stoppage. Gives it up. High kick at half-back. Oh, terrific mark from Fallon. Juggled it 3, maybe 4 times as he was falling to the turf. Kept his eye on it all the while. Geez, been good today, the co-coach. Zimmerman. He's going to poke it forward for Sims. And this will be a telling performance from South Bendigo. Sims goes inside the forward 50. Struben's onto it in a flash. The inverse torpedo looking for number 5 and to maybe push himself further toward the score. Our sponsor, Bendigo City Framers Matchday Player of the Day Award. 32 points the margin. 16-9-105. 19-73. 14 and a half gone final term. Bendigo City Framers, our score sponsor, and of course providing our Matchday Player of the Day award. I reckon Stephen Struben Stormy might have maybe 4 goals 3 or 4 goals 4 to his name this afternoon.
You may be right there, Joel.
Ryan Burke, interesting kicking, and getting in the way was Zach Sims. I said it was interesting because it was very wobbly off the boot.
You're trying to say it was Scheisenhausen, you just didn't want to be unkind.
True. I was trying to think of a polite way to put it. Anyway, South Bendigo still have it inside their attacking 50.
You could go for the French instead of the German and say it was garbage.
Well, you've mesmerised me there, Joel. Your ability in languages is mind-boggling. As the kick comes up towards centre wing, and it's Jed Zenahi who has it. His kick to half forward was partially smothered. McKenna goes after it. Didn't realise he spoke German there, Joel. Tackled is Joel Swatton, and we'll need to have another ball up, but we'll give you the benefit of the doubt. I remember once being on a train in Germany and I got off at the wrong stop, and there was a gentleman who said a word which I did not understand but understood completely because he'd made the same error as me.
Sprechen Sie Deutsch. Hare kicks up toward half forward. On the bounce, Smith hands it off to Zimmerman from long range. This time on the run, Anthony Zimmerman, no! He misses. It would have been a very nice way to cap a terrific afternoon for the South midfielder. 16-10-106, Gisborne 9-19-73, 16 gone final term.
A word which, by the way, I could not repeat on air even if I did understand German, as Vescovi goes to half back and finds Ryan Burke. His kick is smothered. Oh, disastrous consequence. South Bendigo with the ricochet, and now to Harvey inside 50, who's marked it 40 metres out from goal, directly in front, and South Bendigo will celebrate in style tonight, that's for sure. They're lining up for their 17th goal of the afternoon, and Brock Harvey would like to nail his third goal for the contest. He's kicked 22 for the season. Brock Harvey for South Bendigo. He comes in. You can hear the distractions through the FX mic again as it goes to the right-hand side and only a behind.
I couldn't hear them. What did they sound like? Can't believe you fell for that. 607-73. Have you learned nothing throughout the course of the afternoon, Jacko?
Well, you asked for it. I wanted to deliver.
I like it. You always deliver. You always deliver. We know that much. Here's Haddo, who's marked the errant kick from Manders. And Brody Haddo, who hasn't hit the goal kicking, has kicked the goal. He kicked one earlier in this quarter. In fact, did the young midfielder, interleague representative of last year. He's going to line up from outside the arc. So about a 45-metre kick. Lays into it. Doesn't look all that convincing off the boot. Didn't really have the carry or the accuracy. 16-12, 108 South Bendigo. Gisborne 9-19-73. So they've both had 28 scoring shots now. The margin in the game is 35 points, but the story, Norm, isn't necessarily just about Gisborne's woeful kicking today, because they've been beaten more comprehensively than that.
I agree with you there, Joel. Yes, South have had control of the game since ball one.
A massive 70-metre ball from Vescovi to centre wing for the Bulldogs from the kick-in, and a whistle for a push in the back. Braden Blake will take the free kick in our listening area. Rochester in the Goulburn Valley Football League, unfortunately a 62-point loss today to Kyabram. A big win for the Bombers in the Goulburn Valley Football League. Blake to half forward has got merit. He's about 51 metres out from goal, if you want to be precise, like our good friend John Hunter. So Merritt, he'll poke this kick toward the pocket, but it's been stolen by Alex Davis, the former Wrong Panther and Calaval United Demon.
And of course, White Hills Demon as well, premiership player at the latter two of those venues. Bouncing ball outside, defensive 50. Miletus gets on his left boot, pokes it to the pocket. Luxmore was waiting for it. Coming up was Campbell Johns. Handball to McKenna, who's immediately bathed in blood, so to speak, with tacklers everywhere. And it'll be a stoppage inside forward 50 for the Dogs. Up toward the Glencoe, the Lowndes Street end here at Harry Trott Oval. This time, Darling, who's been good back there as part of a very well-drilled and united South Bendigo defence today. He locks it up. 35-point lead to the Bloods, stoppage in their front half.
It is, and the tackling from South Bendigo is terrific. And Isaiah Miller will be rewarded for his effort. So he'll take the free kick in the back pocket. Echuca were leading Seymour by 35 points late in the final term in the Goulburn Valley Football League 2. I understand that could be a final score.
Are Kai the class of that competition, do you reckon, Jacko?
Very much so, and that result against Rochester, who are up there this season, says everything, doesn't it? Huge win to Kyabram this afternoon. Collins in the back pocket for the Bloods. He'll now help to work it out to half back. hoping to find Zach Hare. Ball eludes him and goes out of bounds. You just sense, Joel, that we're buying time. To answer your question, in terms of the Golden Valley League, it's very much Kyabra, Machuca and Rochester in the top three. But Kai seem to be the club out leaders at the moment.
And of course they beat Echuca earlier in the season. Golden Square have got the job done over Castlemaine by 19 points. That's a final score. So they outscored 69-34 after leading 16-0 Castlemaine. So that's a really disappointing performance from them at Wade Street this afternoon. Merit for the Dogs. That pressure from South Bendigo has been unrelenting. They have not let up at any stage throughout the course of the afternoon, particularly after quarter time. But even in that opening term, they held sway in the ball game. Benaki's intercepted at half-back. Hasn't stopped trying despite not having his best day. Kicks up the line. Free kick in the marking contest. Coming back the way of South Bendigo. Jesse Collins has kicked it at the opposition runner. Stephen Strubens in the pocket. He goes around the body. Antonovich tied up against the boundary line, tried to flick it back towards Strubens. Taken away by Zach Dennehy. Hands off to Werner. He can clear Gisborne from defence to Merritt.
It's getting darker here. Almost looks like drizzle, but I don't think it is. Merritt across half back, chips it over the top.
Could be ice shards in the air, Jacko, potentially.
It's very possible. Jones over the top. Johnston now to that man in Harry Luxmore, who started well but has been quiet as the game's progressed. And Miller with a terrific intercept and grab. Full-time scorer in the Heathcote District Footy League. Mount Pleasant with their 6th win of the season. 18 goals, 9, 117 to Heathcote, 15-11, 101.
Sandhurst by 70 points over Strathfield Say. Eagle Hawk by 63 over Kangaroo Flat. So 4-13 for the Roos. So that's not been a bad effort from them today, Norm.
No, they've done well there, and they've been very competitive all day. You would have thought Eagle Hawk would have won by more.
Yep, good news for the Roos, who continue to make strides in their season. Muscovy stands in the way for Gisborne in defence. Hasn't stopped trying throughout the afternoon. Another turnover. The Bloods have preyed on that, and that man, Josh Nitsky, he has been terrific. The big match-up on Pat McKenna, and McKenna only with the 1 goal in proceedings so far. And really, no great supply either. Collins, little kick around the body for the Bloods. Taken by Blake, Benaki, Muscovy, so a few of the guns link up. Gray, the under-19 interleague captain in a couple of weeks' time, knocked it on, tried to get it moving. The huge fend off from Swanton. How's that late in the last quarter to muster the strength in the middle of the ground? It went back into a stoppage. That was a little bit of a highlight for Joel Swanton on an individual level. And we'll have a ball up centre wing in front of the club rooms.
It was to be admired. I wonder who Norm Jenkin will award the sponsored Bendigo City Framers Award this afternoon for the best player on the ground, as from the stoppage the ball's worked towards the boundary line and out. Final scores in the Loddon Valley Football League. Calible, tragic result, still winless this season. Midiamo have won by a kick, 10-11-71 to Calible, 9-11-65. And in the Heathcote League, it's Huntley and LBU all tied up at the 34.5-minute mark of the last term. We'll keep you posted on that one.
Absolutely. The Bloods just resting some of their guns. Caden Antonovich coming off now. Zimmerman already on the bench. Probably won't be coming back for the rest of the contest, those two. Johns kicks inside, forward 50. Gray overran it. Hare comes bustling back the other way. Now through the centre of the ground they run, South Bendigo. Can they get one more for the road? Zach Sims, he's got options ahead. Strubens, he's got numbers everywhere. Harvey had to put her in reverse, almost slipped over. Geddes was there, back to Harvey, slipped the tackle. 30 out from the Bloods goal. Strubens around the body. Sims rushing onto it. McCaig as well. Now it's Harvey. Can he finish? Oh, Vescovi, what a mark! On the behind line, pulls it in with one hand. All he could get free to clutch the footy into his chest. That's a terrific defensive effort. Comes short to Benaki, and the Dogs will get out of trouble.
Vescovi has been excellent today, as far as I'm concerned.
He's had so much work to do back there.
True. Zarappa, another final score in the Loddon Valley Football League. Serpentine, 10-11-71, have down Inglewood, 5-10-40. As the kick came to Dennehy across half back, but it's been awarded to South Bendigo. And Rusbridge goes toward half forward. Alexander Smith dropped it. Ball spills to the back of the pack. Quick chip at goal across the face and out of bounds in the left forward pocket. Just reading again the update from Colin Bacon. I think it could have been a draw. Huntley 8-17-65 to LBU 9-11-65. Done 34.5 minute last quarter.
Wow.
So reading that again, I think that suggests it was a draw.
That was a thriller, and of course, earlier in the game, Huntley really ineffective in front of goal. Here at the stoppage, Zach Sims on the check side. Touched on the line by Vescovi. Oh, it's been paid a goal. Oh, wow.
That was...
We're right in line with that, and there is no chance that was a goal.
I have doubts too, but it looks like it's been awarded to Sims.
Zach Vescovi, can't believe it. Zach Sims has been awarded the goal. And another one for South Bendigo. Maybe one that comes with a little bit of luck. 17-12, 114 to 9-19-73. So the margin a game high 41 as we get ever darker here at Harry Trott Oval. Score sponsor is Donny's Goods.
Yeah, final score MCDFNL Newstead 8-19 defeated Campbell's Creek 5-4 and Carisbrook 10-4 defeated Navarre 7-10.
Collins to McKay, deep inside 50, Strubens Vescovi. Terrific. He has been sensational all afternoon. And a penetrating kick goes 60 metres to half back. Dropped by Jed Zenahi. And an appeal for holding the ball. And it is awarded against Davies. And in fact, no, it is to Davies. It's against Jed Zenahi. So Davies off the right boot. Hoists the kick high, deep towards the broadcast pocket. Good grab by Stephen Strubens. And what's for certain, Joel?
He will not play on, Jacko.
As the siren has sounded full time here, and he's just entering into negotiation with the field umpire to work out his exact angle and what is possible.
Looking for a handful.
So after the siren, kick around the body, he has missed to the near side and only a behind. So Stephen Strubens finishes with 4 goals. And South Bendigo big winners. 7 goals, 17 goals, 13, 115 to Gisborne, 9-19-73.
That is a big statement from the Bloods. They're the only team to beat the Dogs this season. They've done it twice. Once in round 2, once in round 9. They win by 7 kicks. A very impressive effort from South Bendigo, who broke the game open in the second term with 8 goals to 2, never looked back, and might have put their name up to be one of the contenders after a couple of shaky performances earlier in the season, Normie. They look like they're just warming into things nicely.
Yes, it'll be interesting. You've got Eagle Hawk next week out at Canterbury Park, and that'll be a big test for them. Can they, if put pressure on Eagle Hawk in that double chance, if they can get the job done next week? But for me, the big question will be, and people will be looking at the record books, when's the last time South Bendigo have beaten Gisborne twice in the 1 year? We must go back, probably go back a few years. The final score MCDFNL, Harcourt 11-10-76 defeated Denali 7-5-47.
And a final score at Mitchell Park in Pyramid Hill, the Morong Panthers.
When it comes to reducing pain and rebuilding strength, Kaiser leaves nothing to chance. Our university-qualified health professionals don't just treat problem areas, they design personalised training programs using Swiss-engineered machines unique to Kaiser. These machines safely isolate the affected area, test your strength, and help rebuild your muscles for a stronger and healthier life. Kaiser, physiotherapy, rehabilitation, and strength training. Building strength with precision.
It's time for the Bendigo Football Netball League Top 5 from Round 8. Number 1, Stephen Strubance from South Bendigo. A delicate snap. That is just all class. Have a look at that again. Oh, yes. Number 2, Will Allen from South Bendigo. A great pickup. Then the check side, bending that one in nicely. Good goal. Number 3, Jack O'Shaughnessy from Eaglehawk, the juggler, then gets it and dribbles it home. A beautiful goal, maybe a clown in another life. Look at that. Bang. Highlights are plenty from the boys from South Bendigo. This time Brock Harvey gets on the end of one. Lovely snap, guiding it home. Oh yeah, party time. Last but not least, Charlie Robinson from Sandhurst here. Good handball receive and a brilliant goal from a bit of distance. Just makes it over. A brilliant snag.